Gosh, it feels like it's been so long since I had to get. I was on so much today. I had to get actual plug-in headphones because my AirPods ran out of battery. So that's a heavy media day. That's when you're really doing the extra work. You know what I mean? Now a lot of these these crazy kids today with their podcasting podness, and they're wearing the big cans like they're rappers listening to their mixtape. God bless them. It's a little silly. But if I had my own druthers, there'd be some sort of echo cancellation and I could just play the speakers back and I could talk with that. But man, yeah, it's just, and I'm hot in here. I'm sweating. I need to change my shirt. It's just hot in the building. And the glass is right here on my window and I'm sweaty. I apologize. But I haven't had a chance to move and do anything, clean myself up. So I appreciate you guys jumping in with me today and being understanding about this whole thing. I'm going to do a couple of little extra bits when it comes to, let's see if that'll wake up. And hopefully today we will get by without much video shake and nonsense, and the audio will stay linked in. It should be a topless show. Yeah. I was at the gym earlier, feeling all right, getting my frame back in order. You know what I'm talking about? So, let's see, go to live, click on live and the thing, and then I just got to make sure I go to my show when it's live on here and just make sure. Easy. It's not that kind of show. Yeah, it's 100. It's going to be 107 this week here as well. It's supposed to lighten up next week. I will say that at least it's summertime and this stuff is happening, you know. I'm getting swole. I'm gonna get swole. That's the goal. Let's get the swole. Swole is the goal. Hello from Scotland. Hello, Les. Much love to you and Jane. And one of these days, I'll wear my kilt on the show. I mean, you can't see it this way, but I'll stand up and prove it. I will not. I won't. I mean, I won't prove that I'm commando or anything, but I will show the kilt itself. I do need to get some sun. I've been indoors a lot. It's very hot. It's quite hot. So yes, don't be a Chad. I don't think I'm in danger of that. So yeah, fear not. All right, shall we jump in? Because I'm running a little bit later today than I would normally, but I'm earlier than regular, so it'll balance out at some point. Saw my pits on Steph. Yeah, it's a lot. So oh, that's right, because I was wearing a tank top. Right. Okay, so here we go. Let's. I mean, there's so much today. There's just so much. There's so much. How do I? Oh, thanks, Treva. Bless you. Thank you for the super chats, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. If you've let that lapse on Twitch, you have to re-up it. It's not automatic necessarily. You can use Amazon Prime to do it. It doesn't cost you anything. Helps out the show. That kind of thing. We dip below 700, so I'm trying to get us back up. Yeah. But anyways, and share the show. Share it to other people. That's how people come to like this. This is the only show of its kind. All right. So first of all, let me just say for the record that he just looks happy and content in his post-presidency. He doesn't look at all like he's grinding his teeth and confused about where he is. The bags under his eyes aren't telling at all. Thank you, Carlene. Thank you, Sparks Force and the Motang Clan for being here with us. I'm going to make Sparks Force shirts with a little, like, logo right here, I think, on the... I think that has to happen. I think that's a win. That has to. All right, so this is just a short one. He talks to OAN afterwards. I have not watched this. This is just after his little border meeting where he went to visit a gap in his wall.
One America's Christina Bobb spoke with the 45th president.
Oh, Christina Bobb. That's really? I wouldn't have thought she'd be the one.
And has this exclusive.
This is me walking by my wall. It should be black.
Interview from Texas.
Why is my wall tan over there and black over
Sir,
here?
what is your reaction to what you saw today here?
Good question. Good. What is your reaction to what? You can't just let him. All right, we'll see. Sir, what is your reaction to what you saw today here?
Well, the spirit is incredible. The sheriffs have been really great.
Are been great. Oh no. The sheriffs are been great.
The governor, lieutenant governor, and
the vice governor and the assistant governor.
all of the other people we've
all the other governor-ish people with also governor in their sorry.
dealt with have been just amazing. It's Texas, and we won big in Texas, and we didn't have a cheated election like we did in many other states, including Arizona and including Georgia.
No, you had a different cheated election because you had Abbott using the SNS machines to flip it for you. So, but no. It's a great case to make that point. That
I have a great feeling for Texas. And
it's a great feeling. Know you're alive. It's such a good feeling. I'm never going to let this go. This is just going to be ridiculous.
They've had a great feeling for me.
Yeah.
We have a border now that's a
disaster?
Disaster.
And it's a disaster. Really? Because when you were walking along and they were taking pictures, it looked fairly lonely, actually. I don't know why. Let's see. Why is that not working? All right.
Just a short time ago, 6 months ago, it was the strongest border we've ever had in the history of our country.
Yeah, during the pandemic when no one was crossing.
And so we had a very good meeting.
Right, and under your...
We had a very good meeting. Me and the border, we all got together. We felt good about it. I felt good about it. I don't know what's happening.
Administration, you had the HARP, PACER, MPP, the Remain in Mexico program, several policies in place that drastically curbed the border crisis. What's your reaction to completely wiping them out and what you're seeing here under the Biden administration?
So they're completely wiped out. Let's operate under the principle that there basically is no border patrol. That's why he was walking alone. Trump was actually volunteering to patrol the border.
Well, they just opened up the whole country to prisoners and murderers and criminals of all kinds.
Especially, yeah, all kinds. Especially the 8-year-old ones.
Human traffickers, drug dealers.
Yeah, the human traffickers, drug dealers, 8-year-olds, 8-year-old drug dealers.
It's incredible what's happened.
It is incredible.
People are just walking into our country, and our country can never be the same. We have well over 1 million people have poured in already. Don't forget, when they say 4 or 5 or 600,000, that's just the people they know. You can multiply that number times 5 or 6, because most people.
Can you actually do that? Do that for us right now. I just want to see it. Person, woman, man, camera, TV. What's 4 times 6?
Don't get caught. They come in through a border. Thank goodness I built almost 500 miles of wall, and the wall has really helped, but they should have finished the wall. They could have done it in 2 months. It was supposed to be finished, and it would have been really hard to come in. But
So the rest of the wall for hundreds of miles, and people are on foot, remember? Sorry. Yeah. All right, never mind.
Decided to stop it. So they should be ashamed of themselves, actually.
And I know a lot of
Actually,
Americans watch this and see this and are concerned about it.
not a lot. I mean, the OAN crowd, and I would. There's an argument to be made that OAN's crowd is not largely American. I mean, I don't mean that in a you're un-American way. I mean literally foreign nationals.
And are scared for what's happening on our border. Is it fixable, or what do you see happening?
No, of course not. I mean, it's not fixable. You patch the wall, it's still too late. The Mexican rapist murdering voters are already in. They're all going to vote Democrat.
Is there a way to solve this problem?
Because they want to raise their taxes on their cartel money.
Well, I just told the governor, and I just told a lot of the sheriffs that I see people on television, and they're saying, like, oh, we should just immediately go back to the Trump policy. It's not that easy.
Is that what they're saying?
I had to stay in Mexico. I made an incredible deal with Mexico. I don't know if you can make those deals again.
No, you can't. The deal was you put a bunch of soldiers on there. I'll say you're going to pay for the wall and actually pay for it. And then start releasing all of your prisoners and send them to the United States. Thank you, LM.
You can if you know exactly what you're doing, but the deals we had with Honduras and El Salvador.
That weren't working?
And if you take a look at some of the other countries, you could go
What other countries would those be?
5, 6, 7 countries. They're pouring in. They're coming in from the Middle East, too. And I had
Namibia?
arrangements with everybody. We were taking them out so fast your head would spin. And now they can't even bring them back. They can't bring them to Guatemala and Honduras.
Yeah, especially if they're from Namibia.
And El Salvador. They won't take them. And with me, they took them because I stopped paying them. We paid them $500 million.
It's the same story. God damn.
A year for what?
Dude. I mean, I guess there's a whole, Herman Goebbels kind of reason for repeating the same shit over and over again. But there's, do you think there was an addendum to the Goebbels quote about, repeat the lie loud enough and long enough and everybody will believe it? Do you think there is a little, if I do say so myself, this is, if you're going to do this kind of lying, it's much better if the actual lie is sort of plausible and doesn't look totally individually self-serving, that it has a bit of trying to help and this type of thing. And if it gets a little tired and falls apart, you got to kind of, it certainly helps to be a good speaker. You can't just preach to your own choir in this type of situation. I mean, all right, I'll finish the quote later.
Whatever reason. And I stopped payment, and all of a sudden they started taking back their criminals. Mm-hmm. So we have a big problem because their jails are being opened up, and the people from their jails are pouring into our country, which of course makes a lot of sense if you're running those countries.
Yeah, that's what you want to do. You want to be caught. And again, so you're in Guatemala. And you're the president of Guatemala. You're the commandant of Guatemala. You're the Guatemalan Presidente of Guatemala, Comandante. And you come up with this great plan to save some money on your budget. And that is to empty your prisons and give everyone bus tickets to America, wherein none of those people will tell DHS or someone else by the way, the president of Guatemala let us all out. If you let me in, I'll turn state's evidence and stuff. I'm not one of these. I'm not one of the dudes with the potato peeler who will kill you. I'm just a low-level bagman guy. I probably could do. I'd love to have an internship at Fox. or something. If you get, I just wanted you to know that El Presidente Comandante of Guatemala is just releasing all the rapists. And interestingly enough, Mexico doesn't mind that they're pouring through, and they don't even stop. It's funny. You'd think they would stop and murder and rape along the way, but apparently they're really focused. They're going to get up here. They're going to give it one last shot to get in the country. If they get turned back, they're out. So let me get this straight. The Biden administration is deporting any single males of a certain age, which I would guess, considering men's record of murder and rape versus women's records of murder and rape, that the vast majority of the people that he's talking about are insisting are coming up here. They're all getting sent back to Guatemala when they're caught. The ones that aren't caught, obviously, they go straight to, I guess, Marsha Blackburn's district and start working on her campaign. But the rest of them, when they get punted out, they just Mexico's cool with them just all hanging out. That's just what they do now. That's just Mexico's just like a gathering place for all of Guatemala's and Honduras's and many of the other countries, whatever ones he's talking about.
Blame them if we're stupid enough to allow it. So we have people coming in, hardened criminals, murderers, and they're pouring into our country.
So if you compare this to about 2018, 2019 under your administration, prior to the very effective policies that you put in place.
Prior to the very effective policy, meaning letting COVID run rampant.
Where the crisis was at its peak. How does what we're seeing now compare to peak under your administration?
Well, when I took it over, it was messy. And then I got it stopped immediately, rhetorically, because I said, nobody come.
Rhetorically? So that's all it took? Rhetorically. It was just rhetoric, guys. It was rhetorically he handled it. Oh, you mean so when the spokesperson for DHS came out and said the borders closed in English and Spanish, and Kamala Harris went down to Guatemala, or I think she was in Guatemala, saying, "Don't come to the border," like that kind of rhetorically. Do you think he means retroactively? I don't know.
And then people started coming, and we had to build up real infrastructure, including almost 500 miles of wall. And by the time I left, we had the strongest border we've ever had.
Yeah, by the time there was a raging pandemic that was killing people all over the place.
The history of our country, and very few people were coming in. The sheriffs were just saying at the meeting, it was interesting, that the drug usage, the drugs pouring in, went down. Fentanyl went down so low, it was almost imperceptible.
Imperceptible. It's a great word. It's a new one. You might not be familiar with it. Imperceptible. Let's see. Fentanyl deaths. I don't know. Let's pick 2019, just to be a little there. Okay. It was almost nothing. You know what I mean? It was never mind the fact that here's a little look at this guy right here. So here's a graph for you. Almost nothing in total and nothing, and there you go. So here's the end of the, let's see, 2015, 2016. This is the end of the Obama years. And then Trump's coming in right about here. And look at that. Oh, yeah. No. So fentanyl deaths, national drug-involved overdose deaths among all ages by gender, 1999 to 2019. 2019's kind of a peak. 2018, kind of a peak. No numbers like no one's seen before, especially back in 2000. This is, by the way, the introduction of fentanyl as it started to climb into the in the mixture was right around 2015. So that's where you're seeing the rise, anyways. But no, 2017, 2019, almost identical in national overdose deaths. And there, oh hi, that's me. Where was it? Reopen the page. Hold on. Bookmarks. Rival trading common favorites. Numerology. Where do you go? I don't want the history. There it is. Overdose death rates. Sorry. There we go. 99 is okay. National drug category number, all ages. National drug involved overdose deaths 1999 among all ages. Okay, and this one's got the actual stuff. So synthetic opioids. See, here's the introduction of synthetic opioids right here. Psychostimulants, there you go. Benzos, right over here. That should concern Trump. Heroin. And heroin tapered off because this is also the time when fentanyl started to actually come into the country, was right around here. But they listed all these heroin deaths as they were doing it as heroin deaths, even though it was this is the heroin deaths before fentanyl is introduced into the mix. And then once and they weren't even registering here because they weren't, 2011, 2013, they weren't aware that fentanyl was being added as regularly. Then it started to become more aware of it. Then it crisscrosses. And if you'll notice, the deaths from heroin are going down because people are now going, okay, it was heroin they were taking, but it's the fentanyl that killed them. This would be 2019. This would be 2017. So, yeah, I don't... where's the way down part? Imperceptible. Imperceptible is the phrase. Let's see. What was that again? Dum-dum?
Almost imperceptible. And now it's at a level that it's never been at.
Now it's at a level it's never been at. Because he knows it'll be another year before the actual statistics come out. And the number that we're actually looking at 2019 is the highest that we have on record. 2018 was the highest year on record before that, as was 2017.
Many times, like 100 times higher.
No. No. Not many. Maybe 100 times higher than 2000. Maybe 100 times higher than 2015. Oh, thanks for following. I don't know why that graphic is missing its little thing. I apologize for that. That looks funky to me. I have to fix that. That's a Stream Elements problem. I had Streamlabs alerts on there, and then they were crashing stuff, so I had to wait for a while. And so I tried these guys as an alternative, but the picture looks weird. So I'll tell you. But anyways, thank you. Let's see. By the way, antidepressants chugging right along at about the same death rate. It's like a weather report. Benzodiazepine deaths are down, and synthetic opioids, cocaine is reaching up in people. Of course, people are, if you'll notice, a lot of this stuff is triangulating with these kind of things. And of course, prescription opioids on the down slope over the last few years because they just skipped straight to the fentanyl and died. One of the reasons why some of these other deaths are going down, why heroin's going down right here, why prescription opioids are going down, why benzo deaths are going down, why? You know why? Because all the people who would have died from this shit died from this shit. That's why. But imperceptible. Okay. Imperceptible while he was president.
And it's such a dangerous drug. It's a very sad thing. It's not just people, it's drugs.
Yeah, it's not just people that are dying from drug overdose. Drugs are dying from drug overdoses.
Coming in. It's the human trafficking that comes in, and the human...
Because they're just women. It's mostly women, and people don't know
trafficking, we had that very close to stop because...
Very close to stopped. Because 82% of people who are sex trafficked in the United States are U.S. citizens, even the ones that are sex trafficked to foreign ships in our ports, as we learned yesterday. But who pays attention?
Because of the walls.
Because of the walls, yeah. But shipping containers full of dead migrants, no, notwithstanding.
We had that very close to stop. And
no, you didn't.
Now it's a big business again. It's terrible.
And what's your reaction to the situation with law enforcement? Because we see other states...
Yeah, law enforcement. Tell her about law and order.
Sending law enforcement to the border because Border Patrol and some of the federal resources don't seem to have the resources or the support to actually effectively protect the border.
Well, they have the resources, they have the money to do it, but they don't want to do it. And I don't know if...
So Florida's sending cops to Texas. Texas has the resources, but they don't want to protect the border. So Arizona doesn't want to... This is the argument?
If it's incompetence, a lot of people say they want open borders. I actually don't think they do, because who could think that's good? I really think they're incompetent. I really believe that. I believe they don't want open borders. I think they're just incompetent. They don't know how to stop it. But we did a great job, and that was really almost a reunion with all the sheriffs. I know him so well. I got to know him very well.
Yeah, he knows a guy over there and those dudes and sheriffs sheriffs from they got here at sheriff o'clock.
We did a great job on the border, and they better get going fast because we're not going to have a country left.
Right.
Between that and another
Right.
I have to say this, another favorite of your topics, election and election fraud.
Yeah, which is why I'm talking to OAN, because no one else will let me blather about this bullshit.
If you don't have great elections, and if you don't have borders, you don't have a country.
Want to see more?
Well, no, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of countries in the world that have very porous borders and shit elections. I mean, Iraq's a country. I mean, I think you could make that case fairly strongly, and the UN protects it on so many fronts. I never mind, this is bullshit. Want more? No, I don't, actually. Thanks very much. This is, so, I just want to, if I may, where's my cursor? Where'd my cursor go? There it is. If I may, and I think I may, you folks, you enjoy the Twitter machine. You like Facebook. Some of you might be into LinkedIn. Others may just be a Tinder grinder swipers. But is there a place for you to go that is a special, like, I don't know, not a social media site, but a media social site, a site that's so full of media and socialness that indeed it is a gathering of socially like-minded people, like Fwank, for example. If you haven't been to Fwank.com, I recommend it. Signing up there and subscribing, of course. Or Frank Speech, which, of course, Mike Lindell's now dead in the water social media site, which is really just a publishing page for his videos, and that he bought a bunch of servers just so he can buy his own views on his own videos. Anyways, so OAN has decided to step into the foray and beat Trump to it, and maybe at some point sell a site to Trump, which is, I think, really what it is. This is called Free Talk 45. You can talk to 45 about Donald Trump. Join Free Trump 45. Free Talk 45. On the interwebs for America. It's sort of a Nazi symbol, but not really. It's the cheapest that logo we could find on Fiverr. It's Free Talk 45. I mean, it's not doing that well. It's got 363 rumbles. But I want to see the ad for this. Thank you, Can't Stop Lying, for this heads up. I had no idea this was even a thing. If you're going to call me pathetic and you're going to say you're pathetic, you at least use the apostrophe RE. But I appreciate the trolls for being here. Thanks for jumping our numbers up.
One America News Network is proud to announce that we have just launched a brand new social media platform.
Yeah, it's a social media platform. So so Section 230 applies. Let's be redundant. Not a social media site, not a social network, a social media platform. So they are specifically in their introduction using the word platform, which is the very language that protects social media, sites of all sorts from legal problems, because they are not publishers, they are platforms. And so Section 230 is supposed to protect larger, big tech from being shut down by freedom lovers everywhere, because they use it as a platform, not a publisher, and they're going to censor your stuff. And so they're telling you they are a platform as well, so they are not responsible.
45.com.
Finally, oh my God, I'm selfieing in front of fireworks because I love Donald Trump, and I wouldn't even be able to do this.
Freedom to express your point of view.
Yeah, you have the freedom to use clip art and stock footage and insert your own visuals.
If you're tired of the social media giants,
honey, are you tired of this?
Chipping away at our most basic and important right to freedom of speech.
Honey, check this out. By the way, that don't pay no attention to the telescope I have over in the corner. We just got a new neighbor and she changes the front of the window. Don't worry about it.
Shadow banning, censoring, and policing
Oh, and it's available on the Apple Watch, because big tech.
every single post, then freetalk45.com
Yeah, that's the person who is sitting there watching Trump rallies at Wellington, Ohio. This is fresh, too.
is just what you've been looking for. freetalk45.com. Freedom of speech online. One
Yeah.
America News.
Well, of course, within limits. And apparently, if you try to download it on Google Play, it contains ads. It's registered as Ting. Herring Networks is behind it. So fresh fish every day. Let's see. 1 star. Not letting me on or do anything. It's like Google blocking it. Something is blocking. Still getting nothing. Won't open or let me even get to log in. ... That got 9 thumbs up. Erica L. Mickey. It's getting better as I type. I've been using it for 2 weeks. It is easy to post news links. The buttons to like and share and comment sporadically don't work, but for the most part, they do. She gave it 4 stars. Sporadic 4 stars. The website tends to work better than the app, but again, the app has improved in the 2 weeks that I have. Ooh, there's a full review. Used it. They do need an easy link to notify developer of glitches within the app itself. I had to go to the Play Store to get the developer's contact info. I can't wait to read those emails. Mike Porter. I hate to give the app 1 star, but it does not work. I signed up online without a hitch, but logging in using the app is absolutely impossible. I keep using this great platform via a web browser, but it sure would be nice if they could get that app working soon. When they do, I'll be adjusting my review accordingly. Disappointed. Mike Porter. Tabitha Watson. Not sure as online. It works great. I'm trying to log in on the app and it will not let me past the login screen. I will update the stars when I can log in. I have checked my email and password. I am using a Samsung A01. This could be better than Parler if the app worked as well as the browser. James. Cannot get the app to work. Keep saying my date and time are ahead. Cannot fix. The Zimmeister. It has a few kinks to work out, but it has a nice and simple layout. 4 stars. No thumbs up. Anthony Jones. Fails to start after login. Log in the website fine. Just the app does not log in. Unable to rate. Well, you gave him 1 star. Hard to load on my Kindle Fire 10. Easy on my Android. 4 stars. Thomas Kunick. If I go through my browser, the store works. Use this app on my Android? Nope. It only flickers and never leaves the login screen. David Ryan. I love OAM, but I have an account and I can log in from the web. But the application fails to log in. I write software, and this app needs help. Richard Jensen. Busted app doesn't get past login page with web page not available message. Hattie Hall. Unable to log on to the app, reinstalled app several times, still unable to log in. Andrew DiClemente. Can't start the new account. Something about date and timing. I can't get around it. Tien Feng. Can't log into the app. Can't upload image on website. Mike. Siri? Same as others. Can log in from website. Cannot log in from app. Kevin Chalk. Can't log in through the app. Only the web page. Jerry Lee. Won't let me pass the login screen. Jesus Christ. Look at this. It goes on forever. Nice work, OAN. Good work. Hold on, what? David, let's go to the last one. This is way down at the bottom. April 29th. This is an early adopter. You lose the early you lose the early adopters, you're in trouble. Horrible. Wait, hold on. I have to shrink this up. Hold on. Where is it? Hold on. I gotta move this up. Where is it? Crap. Hold on. Display capture. There we go. I have to move this up. Look, it's right down here. Horrible. It's horrible. This is so terrible. David E. Sellers. Cannot sign on. Keeps dropping out and back to the apps. If I sign in, then the app is of... If I can't sign in, then the app is of no use to me. FDA. 5 stars. That's it. Great. It's great. Come on, man. It's great. Emotional hugs. Keeps crashing. Won't open. Can't log in. Can't use. Yet. Facebook is trying to stop me from logging on. POTUS45 is the best president ever. How come I can't open this app? It won't let me. Oh, someone help me. Jeez. Is really bad. App keeps crashing. Easy to log in, large letters, great color, nice design. With time and more participants, it will get better. Thank you. Thanks, Gloria 2020. Gloria, of course. We do need puppets. It wouldn't be a bad idea. Gloria 2020. She's very supportive. Gloria, with time and more participants, I don't know that it's that there aren't enough people. It's just that no one but you can log in. And let's see. Fix this app. We are ready to let go of other apps for this. Jonathan Samuel Udochukwu. Not a bot support at all. Lovella Opplinger says, can't create an account. It states I need to update my date and time, which are correct. I will delete the app and try again in a couple of weeks, perhaps. Sad. Won't even open for me, Cheryl Blair. No email verification. App does not work. Worst app. Cry, cry. Does not work. Doesn't open. Will not let me sign up. Nothing but a blank screen. Dude, it won't even let me register. Dude, who does he think he's talking to? How do you set up an account? Love OAN, but this app is hot garbage. Nice try. If I had Google App Store, I would give that one a thumbs up. An awesome alternative to big tech censorship. DTM News. 5 stars. Won't let me create an account due to time zone. Doesn't work. Allows me to sign in, but nothing shows. Will not run on a Samsung phone or Android tablet. Google is blackballing the app open in DDG if not working. Keeps shutting down. It can't open. OAN. Real journalism. Haven't sold their soul for socialism, Marxism, CCP garbage. A Google user. Completely. That was completely justified. I buy that. That's got to be real. I mean, honestly, look at that. That's a recent picture. Dave R. Tried it, worked for a short while, finally uninstalled. Oh yeah, Free Talk 45. Download it, installed, registered, and now cannot log on. Question mark, question mark, question mark. OAN, Free Talk 45. Won't let me sign up or log in, just keeps on spinning. Maybe not ready to launch, too bad. What sucks is Facebook and Fritter are loving it. Free Talk 45. Won't let me pass the login screen. Free Talk 45. I'm going to make my own ad for this app. Can't log into the app. Can't upload image on website. Free Talk 45. Can't start new account. Something about date and timing. I can't get around it. Free Talk 45. Sorry, this is so stupid. Okay, enough of that. But it's not. Come on, it's not easy doing this. This is starting your own. Ask Mike Lindell. Do we check out? Well, we'll move on because I like. Facebook, yeah, Facebook's shutting it down. Facebook, they're destroying us. Busted app doesn't get past the login page, web page not available message. Richard Jensen. Free Talk 45. Sorry. Oh God, I'm gonna make new commercials for the whole thing. Hard to load on my Kindle Fire, easy on my Android. Free Talk 45. Free Talk 45. Okay, we're done. All right, next. First of all right, so it wasn't bad enough that they want to defund the FBI, and they want to get rid of the CIA. All things on Putin's checklist, by the way. And in this, okay. Remember when we had our moment about Don Jr.'s using thumbnails at one point, right? He was given an attempt that he had the glow. Remember that? Okay, link somewhere. He's just given up on that entirely. He's just throwing up the half screen and letting it pick his. This is what happens when you let it pick, or it gives you 4 options. I don't know how Rumble works, so it might be like YouTube where it gives you a couple of options, right? Yeah. Look at the glassy eyes. Look at the neck. I mean, this might be an angle issue, but this looks like coked out weight loss. Perhaps he's been crying. Could be. Could be that he's just been yelled at by his father repeatedly and called a fuck up nonstop in the lead up to the Weisselberg arrest or surrendering today. I don't think he's in a hotel. I think that's his office. We'll see in a second. He wears this pink shirt to work a lot. He looks like shit. This is bad.
Okay, guys, this is a big one. Really.
Okay, guys, this is super big. Okay. Believe me, remember all that shit about them spying on my dad's campaign? Okay, that was bullshit. This is real.
Big. So the NSA has responded to Tucker Carlson's allegations that they've been spying on him. Now, hey.
Yeah, because he's on the second highest rated news channel, and in his time slot, and he's an influential person on a regular nightly news program on a cable network, so they're having to respond to it. If it was this video, they wouldn't give a shit. Lots of people have said shit about the NSA. They don't respond to all of it. This kind of warrants a response.
Hey Siri,
a tweet.
What's a non-denial denial?
I'm sorry. Hey, you said Siri in this. I see. I can't say it because I will. Hey Siri, what's a non-denial denial?
A non-denial denial is a statement that, at first hearing, seems to be a direct, clear-cut and unambiguous denial of some alleged accusation, but after being parsed carefully turns out to not be a denial at all, and is thus not explicitly untruthful if the allegation is in fact correct. That was from Wikipedia. Do you want me to keep reading?
No, thank you.
Because this is case in point exhibit A of a non-denial denial.
No, it isn't.
This is the NSA's response.
Okay, at least he has an excuse for reading it right now. Now, granted, he could put it up on screen right here, but we'll see if he does.
Also, bear in mind, nothing instills confidence in American public that is rightfully skeptical of these
in American public
agencies, right?
Why are they rightfully skeptical of these agencies? I mean, other than the fact that secrecy is part of the job and that they engage in counter-programming against propaganda by other countries, and they're engaged in secret activities for the safety and security of America. I mean, I know you want to make them out to be everybody at the NSA is a mole that hates America that's working on behalf of communist China or some shit.
They've seen the abuse from the FBI, DOJ, CIA, and all of them over the last couple of years.
You mean during your dad's tenure? And no, they haven't. When's the last time you heard the NSA was engaged in criminal?
NSA is no different.
Yeah, they are.
Just look what they did with Snowden and all the others.
Yeah, so your dad was going to pardon Snowden, was he? Sorry, did that ever happen? Remember that whole thing? Remember when Edward Snowden said a choice between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump is like is really a choice between Donald Trump and Goldman Sachs? Remember that? And then Steve Mnuchin, all right,
over the years. Like, let's stop pretending these guys are above board.
By the way, fuck Edward Snowden, just for the record. Reality winner, Chelsea Manning, did something good for the country, did their time, showed their patriotism, stuck here. No. Random contractor, fuck off.
But nothing
Living comfortably in Putin's Russia ever since. Fuck off.
adds
Snowden.
to the confidence that we as the American public should have in these agencies than turning off people's ability to reply to the comment and response by a government agency, which is exactly what they did in this tweet.
Yeah, you do realize that Twitter isn't uniform to the United States, right? I mean, but please make room for Russian troll farms.
Turned off people's ability to reply and comment on a government agency. So,
by the way, free reality winner, and I obviously we were always in Chelsea Manning's court. Just saying, for the record, in case anybody's confused about this. But fuck Julian Assange and Edward Snowden. No. You don't get to steal the valor of people like reality winner and Chelsea Manning and live off that forever as if you're some sort of hero. No. Sorry. No.
Again, it's already starting off, but read it carefully. Listen to it carefully and listen for the nuance, because what
yeah, sorry, I went with the hashtag. She is out. Yes, that's true.
they're
But she did her time, is my point.
trying to get you to believe is not actually what any of this says. So here we go.
Yeah, okay. Here's an attempt to read by, yes.
The agency has been, quote, monitoring our electric communications and is planning.
No, I'm sorry. Reading is fun, dumb, mental. Are what kind of communications? We are watching a grown man read.
Quote, monitoring our electric communication.
Our electric. Great.
Quote, monitoring our electric communications and is planning to leak them in an attempt to take this show off the air. Close.
My question is, and this would be kind of a crucial one for Tucker Carlson and anybody around him, why would your electric communications, why would leaking those get you taken off the air? Why? Why wouldn't your electric communications just show what an amazing patriot you are really fighting for things? Why would anything the NSA has in regard to your communications with people overseas, why would that lead to your show being taken off the air?
Quote, this allegation is untrue. Tucker Carlson has never been an intelligence target of the agency, and the NSA has never had any plans to take his program off the air.
To try to take his program off the air. Just saying. Not even the attempt. You're leaving words out. He said electric. What am I worried about?
NSA has a...
NSA! Jesus Christ, man. Take a deep breath and speak from your diaphragm. You are a grown man. NSA, not NSA.
Foreign intelligence mission. We target foreign powers to generate insight on foreign activities that could harm the United States. With limited exceptions, e.g. an emergency, NSA may not target a U.S. citizen without a court order that explicitly authorizes the targeting. Right? Like a FISA warrant. Because FISA hasn't been abused over the last few years, right?
It hasn't.
Right?
No, it hasn't.
The FBI didn't abuse it and lie about it.
No, they didn't. The changes made in the FISA warrant would have made it less likely for Carter Page to have gotten his search warrant extended on him, or his surveillance extended on him. The guy was actually trying to help Carter Page when he lied on that thing. He was downplaying Carter Page's engagement, not upplaying it.
In the Russia hoax, folks, right? So this is the perfect example of a non-response. They try to lead you there. Now, they could be targeting someone else and still getting Tucker's communication.
Who would that be?
They could not specifically be targeting Tucker, but still be monitoring those communications, but none of it says that, right?
Yeah, it does.
It's bizarre that they don't allow replies, but it's also...
No, it isn't.
...the same deceit that they've used for...
It's a statement. It's rhetorical. It's not a conversation.
...years. They can spy on U.S. citizens' communications without targeting the American...
Why are you making bunnies? Like, I understand air quotes being what they are, but Why are your air quotes hopping like bunnies, you coked out maniac?
American. Third, the NSA has extremely broad authority to collect communications, right? Glenn Greenwald did all sorts of stuff.
Oh, Glenn Greenwald. Yeah, like, talk about criminality making strange bedfellows.
About this. This is a guy that was definitely a liberal leader on the left who's sort of, I think, seen some of the light about what's going on with these agencies and has called them out on it. Okay, so first and foremost, if you've been watching, I believe Tucker before I believe the NSA.
Yeah, that's because you're an agent for a foreign government yourself, and most of the money you've been getting to support all of your financial endeavors have come from Russia in the last 2 decades, and you can't say otherwise.
The NSA definitely wasn't spying on Tucker, and yet they said that, right? He's never been an intelligence target.
Right.
Doesn't say they weren't looking at the communications. Let's be...
No, but again, if you call Scarface 100 times, the DEA is going to start going, who the fuck is that?
clear, okay?
And why, again, is he worried? Why? That's the first time I've seen that quote. So why is Tucker Carlson concerned that if you and I and the rest of the Fox audience, I guess, or the Fox, like the corporate overlords at Fox, if they were to hear what he said on those communications, if indeed they were leaked, then why would that make his show go off the air?
This is not normal, folks, right? Remember
No, it is not normal to avoid work in your office by making Rumble videos coked out of your fucking mind.
did this to
Thanks,
Snowden.
Stacey.
It's got broad authority to collect Americans' communications, and it often does, without specifically targeting that person.
No.
You don't have to be a genius to do this.
Well, it's just, and he means Rumble.
Back in 2013, using the NSA's top secret documents, Glenn Greenwald reported in detail how the NSA collects, stores, and monitors Americans' communications without a warrant and without targeting the American, which is...
Yeah, no. Except in an emergency. We're talking 9/11 stuff. We're talking about terrorist cells. They don't collect, like the January 6th thing, they're not collecting and keeping everybody's communications. They have to maintain a warrant to use it in court. They hold on to it digitally because it happened around a key event.
All the NSA denies that it did in this statement. They just say, they weren't targeting. Doesn't mean they didn't read it. Again, not bolstered.
My thing is again, why would Tucker Carlson be worried? What is going to come out? Guys, what is going to come out? Hold on. Thanks, Josh, I guess. What is going to come out? What's going to leak from Tucker Carlson's communications from anybody? Because this is what sticks out to me. Something is either because he was he was just outed as a source for the news. He was talking shit about Sean Hannity and others, right? Right? He got busted recently. Tucker did. So what's going to come out that it's either text messages or recordings or whatever that he knows is coming out, that Tucker Carlson knows is coming out, that he is saying that the NSA is after me. So it's definitely going to be foreign, whoever he's talking to. And whatever he's saying is not going to be good. It's going to be either incriminating or very anti-America, un-American in that regard, like anti-democracy. So when it comes out, is this just Tucker getting ahead of it by laying it at the feet of the NSA?
By the fact that they turned off replies. Also not bolstered by the fact that the Pentagon just suspended a pro-Trump security official for, quote, unauthorized disclosure of classified information from the NSA. Presumably means that she or they or whoever leaked NSA activities to someone who wasn't supposed to talk about it, right?
I'm sorry, was that a anti-Trump Biden wannabe? What was that?
From the NSA. Presumably.
Hold on. Run that by us again. Who got kicked?
A pro-Trump security.
Sorry, who? got kicked
They
off.
turned off replies. Also not bolstered by the fact that the Pentagon just suspended a pro-Trump security official.
Just suspended a pro-Trump security official for what?
For, quote, unauthorized disclosure of classified information.
A pro-Trump security official for Okay. So this equates to Tucker Carlson being spied on, like, how?
From the NSA. Presumably means that she or they or whoever leaked NSA activities to someone who wasn't supposed to talk about it, right? Definitely a non-denial denial.
What? How is that a non-denial? Oh, all right, I don't. At this point, it's the Coke talking.
This stuff goes on and on. It doesn't stop. These are
Well, apparently it doesn't stop with pro-Trump officials.
the same people that have told you that white supremacy is the biggest threat, and of course conservatives are a key to espousing white supremacy rhetoric and all this nonsense. But
No, white supremacist groups are the highest domestic terror threat around racially specific groups. That's it. Our biggest threat is heart disease and climate-related damage. A hurricane or erosion collapsing the building that you're asleep in.
this is what happens when the left takes over an institution. They
Oh, an edit. Oh, Don. And look at that crossfade edit.
an institution. They did not deny it. They can't. That's what he says. And honestly, if you've been watching, I tend to believe him. Certainly much more than I do any of these broken and corrupted agencies.
Yeah, so let me get this straight just for the record. So the NSA, full of men and women who've dedicated their lives to the American people's general security. And you can have whatever your secondary thoughts. Understand that these are a lot of oath takers. These are people who took an oath to protect the country against all enemies, foreign and domestic, the whole deal. And he, Don Jr., believes Tucker Carlson, who would never pass an oath test, ever, a second-generation rich kid, over the people who take an oath. Like, so basically, anybody, and most of the NSA is full of ex-military, too, veterans. So, yeah, the NSA is Antifa, right, yeah, yeah. Did Hal and Junior coordinate their shirts today? For the record, my shirt is more purple. Thank you very much. We've seen him wear this one down, like this button down a lot. I think he keeps like 5 of them in his closet at work. Al Powers, thank you so much. And again, I changed the color scheme on my camera because it helps me cut out the green screen. So, all right. And he follows it up, by the way, and he's not the only one. So, Tucker is not the only person who is going after the NSA in defense of Tucker. Now, this one's more ambiguous. So, Bangino, I'm looking for a teepee for my bunghole. His video is titled, Who Do You Believe, Tucker or NSA? I believe the NSA, the men and women of the NSA who have taken an oath to protect the country, and do so on a daily basis, pretty regularly. And for all the military puffery that you hear from Bongino and Don Jr. and these assholes, all of them would sell any of those people down the river for Tucker Carlson. So, yeah, just Bangholio. Bangholio. I'm looking for a teepee for my bunghole. Bangino.
A big deal.
Okay, so this is a big deal.
Again, I don't have any inside info from Tucker. We don't.
Neither does he.
We work at Fox, but we don't work together. We were
No, I don't know this guy. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know it.
in different locations.
We got to look at him, Rose. We can't look away. Don't worry about it. Fear not. Bangino.
But I'm increasingly growing concerned, folks, that we are turning into a massive surveillance state, no different than
Yeah, that's what you're worried
the
about.
Chinese Communist Party. You can take that for whatever it is.
Blather, and because if other criminals get busted, that's America. Fuck yeah. But if your criminals get busted, then all of a sudden the whole, I don't know, this is overreach. we support law enforcement. We support the door kickers, man. They're on our side. That's what Don Jr. always says. The door kickers are on our side. Meanwhile, the door kickers in this circumstance showed up at Rudy Giuliani's house at 6 o'clock in the morning and knocked on his door, entered politely, served him with a warrant, got all the items. They came there, were polite and professional the entire time they were there. And after they left, Rudy Giuliani lied about them and said that they practically broke down his door. So, liars.
Hyperbole, I don't care. I'm not trying to impress people or cater to the Washington Post op-ed
how would that
column. If the Tucker Carlson story, which he alleges that he's being spied on by the NSA.
Yeah, and you would know, wouldn't you? There was a guy, like, in my backyard. Like, I went outside, like, hey, where are you going? And he had, like, an NSA badge on him. I was like, totally, I'm being spied on, guys.
Say is true, then, folks, we are descending into Chinese Communist Party surveillance state madness at a rate even I didn't expect. And believe me, I'm a pessimist when it comes to the government.
So he made up a story, you buy it wholesale, you don't work together, and you don't have any anecdotal information or any direct evidence of this, but you're going to call out the entirety of the National Security Agency as a bunch of traitors who want to turn us into China because Tucker Carlson said something on his TV show.
And the saddest part is the media loves it. The media is doing nothing about this. The media has an attitude now that we love government spying as long as they're spying on Republicans and conservatives.
No. The media is going, this asshole is lying. The NSA is not spying on him. It's not that we love it, like, oh yeah, shit. Get him, NSA. What's to get? And if there is something to get, that's a conversation he needs to have with the American people. There might be some stuff that leaks out where I said, fuck America, and I'm done with this dump, and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, normally it goes against the whole raison d'etre of the Tucker Carlson show. But nobody's saying that. Everybody's just saying Tucker is full of shit.
So I covered the story yesterday. Tucker had a follow-up last night on his show where they
with even less information
called the NSA, Paul Nakasone, the head of the NSA, and they started asking questions. Are you spying on me, Tucker Carlson? Because you, according to Tucker, they have emails of his that nobody else has, and someone read him the emails.
Someone read you emails from the NSA. So this person, the pro-Trump person who was just fired for leaking information, is that who we're talking about? Is that what that was?
Here was Tucker last night on this, and I want you to pay very close attention to the end, and I want you to ask yourself this question. One, is he being spied on? The evidence seems pretty strong at this point.
Oh, no. There's another option in this situation, Bangino, that you might not be thinking about, which is the NSA might be spying on someone who is a danger to this country, and Tucker Carlson is pen pals with them. That would also be another way that this happens. These, the Ted Bundy's girlfriend's angle.
And second, if he's not being spied on, then why can't the NSA issue a categorical denial?
Because they're the NSA?
Check this out.
Just minutes before air tonight, the NSA sent us an infuriatingly dishonest formal statement.
It's infuriating to my case. I made this whole story up, and then they write something that totally contradicts it.
An entire paragraph of lies written purely for the benefit of the intel community's lackeys at CNN and MSNBC.
The lackeys at CNN and MSNBC? What? You mean the ones just laughing at you for thinking you're important?
All those people they hire.
Whistleblower to Tucker, you're being monitored.
With the titles on the screen.
Uh-huh.
They also tweeted it out a few minutes ago.
Right. In case any of the lackeys at CNN, weren't checking their email.
Now, last night on the show, we made a very straightforward claim. NSA has read my private emails without my permission. Period.
Well, no. No, that's you said they're spying on you.
That's what we said. Tonight's statement from the NSA does not deny that. Instead, it comes with this non sequitur. In part, quote.
Non sequitur? No. So this would not be a non sequitur. A non sequitur would be it wouldn't mention you at all. It would say, I wonder if, why do people see pink elephants when they're drunk? Is it because rosy cheeks affect your eyesight? What are you talking about? Exactly.
Tucker Carlson has never been an intelligence target of the agency.
Right. Well, because you don't have any intelligence. Why would you be an intelligence target? Tucker Carlson has never been an intelligence target for anyone with intelligence.
Okay, glad to know. But the question remains, did the Biden administration read my personal emails?
Uh-oh.
That's the question that we asked directly to NSA officials when we spoke to them about 20 minutes ago in a very heated conversation. Did you read?
My question is, maybe they didn't get them that way. Maybe it was when you mailed that package of evidence to California instead of bringing it with you and it disappeared and then showed up.
My emails. And again,
yeah, they called Mike NSA.
They refused to say.
Yeah, like the NSA would?
Again and again. And then they refused even to explain why they couldn't answer that simple question.
Because they're the NSA.
We can't tell you, and we won't tell you why we can't tell you.
Yeah, that sounds like the NSA. That sounds like NSA speak.
My emails.
What was in them? I mean, if you're worried about them seeing them, Tucker, what were you saying? Who were you emailing that you're even nervous about the NSA seeing them? Nobody cares. I swear to God, this is just because something's going to leak and he's going to say the NSA leaked these out.
And the message was clear. We can do whatever
this is a pre-attack.
We want. We can read your personal texts. We can read your personal emails. We can send veiled threats your way to brush you back if we don't like your politics.
Sorry, the NSA is now threatening you? What's a veiled threat? Did they veil? Was there a veiled threat in the "we don't give a shit about you" tweet?
We can do anything.
Yes, we can do anything. So why the fuck would we bother with you?
We're our own country, and there's literally nothing you can do about it. We're in charge. You're not.
You do realize they don't give a shit about Tucker Carlson, right? And if there might be someone they do give a shit about, and Tucker Carlson is a little too chatty with them and is aware of it.
Folks, having worked inside the government as a GS 1811 federal agent myself, I can tell you my biggest fear is big government. No, I'm not kidding.
Yeah, I agree. Like, China has a big government. Russia, for all of its diminutiveness as a country, has a big government. The Saudis, from an intelligence community standard, they have a big government. And assholes like Dan Bongino and Tucker Carlson and Grover Norquist have always been trying to shrink America's government so small that Russia could drown it in a bathtub.
Big, expansive, uncontrollable, non-civil liberties respecting government is my biggest fear, hands down. There's not even a silver medalist.
There's not even a sliver medalist? But
if Tucker Carlson isn't being spied on by the NSA, then how
he isn't?
How is someone at the NSA reading his emails?
Well, you presume that they are. You're presuming his evidence based on what he said. Clearly, Tucker Carlson is trying to head off a scandal that is coming his way, and he's trying to make it look like a government attack.
Or a whistleblower reading his emails. How?
Well, we don't know. And one of the reasons is it kind of falls into that whole Hunter Biden laptop bullshit. You do realize, by the way, that he didn't read what was in those emails or say who they were to. These are emails between me and my wife. These are emails, a whistleblower told me that emails between me and my employer have been read. No. He won't even bring up to whom the emails allegedly go and what they allegedly contain that would be a breach of his security, which would lead me to believe that his concern, the reason he's omitting that information, is because he thinks that that person is reasonable to be on the NSA's radar, and he's a little too handsy with them.
I'm going to explain to you why and what I think is going on here. It's
great. I'm sure we'll all be just overwhelmed with the intellect.
Something I've addressed, Joe.
No, it's so.
You may remember this because we've been on it for a long time. It's something I've addressed now for probably close to 5 years.
You mean right about during the Trump administration when he was trying to basically make everybody who ran all these agencies his own personal Roy Cohn?
Because I know exactly what they're doing if this is happening.
suckers spoiled 5-year-old kid with I don't understand shit look on his face. Well, that's his general idea. Yes, he's mansplaining us.
And how they're doing it. In fairness to the NSA,
In fairness to the NSA, I don't know shit about this, and I am taking Tucker Carlson's word.
put up their statement on the screen if you wouldn't mind. If you're watching on Rumble, you can read along at home, rumble.com/Bongino.
Which is, yeah. And by the way, please say electronic.
I'll read it for you.
Great.
The NSA issued this statement. On June 28th, Tucker Carlson alleged that the NSA had been monitoring his electronic communications and planning to leak them in an attempt to take the show off the air. They say this allegation is untrue.
No. Well, you're now paraphrasing what they're saying? I guess let him paraphrase.
Tucker Carlson has never been an intelligence target of the agency, and the NSA has never had any plans to try and take his program off the air. NSA, pay attention to this part. NSA has a foreign intelligence mission. We target foreign powers to generate insights on foreign activities that could harm the United States. With limited exceptions, e.g. an emergency, NSA.
Yeah, it's an easy thing to mix up. I mean, honestly.
May not target a U.S. citizen.
No, NASA definitely can. Space Force!
Without a court order that explicitly authorizes the targeting. You may be reading this if you're a liberal, probably, or a media person who's fundamentally uncurious. And you may say to yourself, well, Dan, that sounds like a denial to me. Notice this line, though. Tucker Carlson has never been an intelligence target of the agency.
Well, that's because Tucker Carlson's claim was specifically that they were monitoring his electronic communications and is planning to leak them in an attempt to take his show off the air. That they were doing it on purpose. They're addressing his charge directly. He's not saying they're monitoring somebody else and I got caught in the web and they're going to try and leak what they found. He didn't say that. Because if he did that, he would have to admit that whoever he is talking to in these emails, allegedly, if they even exist at all, even if this is, let's give them the whole Tucker Carlson version of the Hunter Biden laptop narrative, give them everything that they're arguing, he would have to admit who he was emailing that it got on the NSA's radar. And he's not, because he's afraid to tell you who he was emailing in that circumstance. So Tucker Carlson, to be abundantly clear, made a charge that they are monitoring our electronic communications, meaning him and everybody at the show, I would think, because he says it in terms of the context of the show, and is planning to leak them in an attempt to take the show off the air. And they addressed his concerns specifically. We don't give a shit about this guy, and we are never going to try and take his show off the air. What we do the rest of the time has nothing to do with him.
And then it says NSA has a foreign intelligence mission.
Right. So who was Tucker emailing?
Well, Harmeet Dillon, who is a very talented lawyer and a friend, Harmeet Dillon was on with Tucker Carlson afterwards. She is a brilliant lawyer.
And the first sign of a brilliant lawyer is that they just take whatever you're saying at face value and follow you down a rabbit hole of freak out. Yeah.
And Harmeet Dillon explained a couple of things that, again, I've been talking about in this show for a long time.
Yes, that America is a danger to the world, and it'd be better if you lived in Russia because it would be safer for you there.
When I ran for office, ladies and gentlemen, you can look it up. It's not virtue signaling or, hey, look at me stuff. I hate that crap.
Yeah, you definitely. I mean, it's like the kind of thing some asshole would do, like putting his name all over the background, like multiple times. Like you know, who does that? What kind of hey, look at me bullshit would you do if your entire show, even though you have, I guess, a producer or somebody else who's sometimes there, and they exist, you talk to them, but they're never on camera. It's only you on camera. It's only this on the background, and not only is the background full of your name over and over again, but you've also got it on the little cardboard cutout box around. And by the way, points to you for covering up the mic stand because it's ugly with something like that. I have no problem with, but it's got your name on it. It's the same logo that's on the back, but no, look at me, look at me.
When I ran for office as a Republican, I ran against the Patriot Act, despite the fact that George W. Bush, a Republican, was the one who signed the Patriot Act. I felt strongly at the time, and I feel today, that it has expanded government surveillance powers in a dangerous way, through things like business records provisions that could be used to spy on anyone for pretty much any reason.
Well, no. I mean, obviously, they have to have foreign financial entanglements with countries that are on the list. But go ahead.
I never liked the Patriot Act.
Yeah, even though that has nothing to do with this. I never liked the Patriot Act. You know what? I never liked egregious rules around swimming holes either. And both of them have everything to do with the conversation that we're having about Tucker Carlson because he's making this shit up.
Patriot Act gave the government powers it doesn't need. You want to spy on someone? Get a warrant.
They do. But there's also an emergency clause, like when cops if they hear screaming inside, they don't have to wait for a warrant to go in and save somebody. And he knows this. It's the same thing. It's this so stupid.
It's called the Fourth Amendment. It's not hard. Well, Harmeet Dillon talks about a couple things here. She mentions the two-hop rule, or the hop rule, where when you're spying on someone in the NSA, not only you get their stuff overseas, but you
Whoa. When you're spying on someone overseas, you what?
can get people that they talk to and then people those people talk to.
Okay, so it's 2 generations down. So Tucker Carlson is talking to somebody who's talking to somebody.
What's been called the two-hop rule. The hop
It definitely. Yeah, it's when you use 2 different kinds of hops to make beer. I get it.
hop rule. So if I'm talking to Guy and I'm a target, they can target Guy and then whoever Guy talks to as well.
Yeah, it's how we do RICO. It's how Interpol works. Yeah, if you're 2 phone calls away from a terrorist, for example, and
Listen to Harmeet
they still have to get a warrant.
talk about that. And second, again, something we've mentioned for years now. I want you to listen to when she talks about this reverse targeting. How, the NSA said in its statement, we have a foreign intelligence mission. I'll tie this up for you in a minute. You're going to want to miss
Oh, wait till the end.
this. Well, what if you wanted to target Tucker and Tucker talked to someone in a foreign government and then you claim with air quotes, well, we're targeting foreign intelligence, the person Tucker talked to, but then you rope Tucker into it too.
Huh? So they want Tucker so bad, the NSA, who's not above just stealing your emails anyways. They would just do it. They just monitor it because they want to. They're going to wait until you call someone that's a national threat.
That's called reverse targeting. Listen to Harmeet Dillon eloquently explain this on.
Yeah, you know what we really want is the street dealers. So let's get a warrant for Scarface.
Tucker's show last night. Check this out.
If you are able to find out more information about this, I think what you're
There is none.
going to find
If you're able to make up more information about this, Tucker,
is that you are being described as incidental. So the gathering
that's how I would describe him.
of your information is going to be because they're really focusing on somebody else. But I want to really
Who's that person? Tucker, who are you emailing?
break that down. When you look at the Carter Page violations, for example, the lies to the FISA court, does anybody think that the national security apparatus was trying to find out Carter Page's activities and
No, they knew he was a courier. They weren't drafting from to Trump on that. They knew he was the courier for the Trump work. They had pictures with him and Papadopoulos at meetings. Yeah, they knew.
communications? No. The trick is if they can get a surveillance order on an individual, what they're able to do is scoop up all of the communications of all of the people who reach out to that person, text them even without any predicate. And so that's really where it's at.
Did you hear it? She just described what I've been.
She just described a fantasy web of spy intrigue that she pulled out of her ass based on something that Tucker pulled out of his ass. And now you're pulling something out of your ass because you're a child. Look, over-spying by governments is a problem. That's certainly an issue and worth talking about. But let's not... Can we not pretend that that's genuine at all? That they're not just fucking making this up, that Tucker's making this up, and she's creating hypotheticals on what Tucker made up that are intentionally crafted to make him look like an innocent victim to some major government overreach, as if the government overreach in that situation actually exists. Let's be abundantly clear. for whatever moments where the Chelsea Mannings and the reality winners of the world have discovered things that need to be dealt with. And Donald Rumsfeld and stress positions and all that kind of stuff. Beyond that everyone else in there and around there is this kind of egregious, violent, villainous, like volcano layer supervillain all the time because of those folks, for the record. And that anytime somebody like that wants to make up a story where they're the victim for it, it sort of plants the idea in there that, oh yeah, shit like that happens all the time. It doesn't. It does not. And saying it does is just fart air meant to cover the fact that something's gonna come out that Tucker Carlson said to someone, and it's not coming from the NSA or somebody leaking it from there. He's gonna run up against a run-of-the-mill someone outing him for being a white nationalist with that dude who used to run his show. And that they've been going back and forth, and this shit's gonna come out, and it's gonna be, Holocaust denial or some nonsense that absolutely tracks with him hiring that dude who was on the white nationalist websites as his head writer. And it's gonna come out, and he's gonna go, the NSA targeted me. Right? That's what this is.
Warning you about for years.
You have not.
When you give these entities the ability...
You didn't give a shit about giving entities power when Trump was in charge.
...ability to scoop up domestic data, they will use it. They will use it.
Yeah, that's why there's hundreds of thousands of Americans in Guantanamo.
This reverse targeting is a very big deal.
Yes, when it happens, it's a very big deal. It is not happening to Tucker Carlson. She made that up. If you could find out more information about this, I think you'll find there is no information to be found. He's fucking lying.
Yes, the NSA has...
He's a liar. She's creating puffery on his lies, and you are going, see what she said about the lies that she said?
It's a foreign intelligence mission, and an important one. But when in the realm of that foreign intelligence mission, they are scooping up data...
From innocent Americans who just happen to be calling Sergei Lavrov every Wednesday with a translator present.
When you give people that kind of data, access to it will be abused. If this example isn't strong enough, Guy and Joe, you got to stop me because it's important.
Yeah, don't show Guy and Joe, by the way. This is your show. And you don't like that kind of puffery.
The NSA scoop, let's say you wanted to target Tucker Carlson.
Nobody does.
I'm not saying that happened here.
Yes, you are. You are inferring. You are allowing for the inference thereof. You are implying explicitly that that's what's going on.
I'm just giving you an example. But
No. You are insisting that that is what's going on, and you are creating an example as a way to buttress your insistence. Fuck you, Dan Bongino, you punk. How did I end up in Geraldo Rivera's camp?
Because it has happened in the Spygate case, and we know that.
No.
If you want to target Tucker, forget everything else. You just...
just pretend Tucker Carlson is actually meaningful.
That's your goal.
Yeah. You got nothing better to do. ISIS has been handled. Al-Qaeda isn't resurging. There's not, far-right groups in Germany coordinating with right-wing, racial extremists here in the United States. There's not Russian troll farms creating, events for nutcases to go to or trying to foment lone wolves all over the country to destabilize it. That's for whatever reason. It's a Wednesday. Everybody's napping.
And then Tucker takes a trip overseas and talks to a foreign leader.
Just a foreign leader. Leader of what? The GRU?
Somebody sits around a table and goes, hey, I got an idea. We can scoop up this foreign leader's emails, and they'll probably have emailed Tucker. And then we can read Tucker's stuff too. Genius! And then we'll tell him we were targeting the foreigner. Well, did that happen?
No, it did not. If it's happening at all, and I doubt that it is, it's a direct linkage.
Well, I've got an idea.
I got an idea too. Tucker Carlson and his old head writer, who was kicked to the curb for being a far-right, ghost posting, anti-Semitic and racist shit on websites, but that Tucker's really close to and hired him as his head writer for that purpose, is talking to far-right racist groups in Germany and other countries and coordinating with those groups in the United States, and Tucker chit-chats with that fucker all the time.
Keith, throw up that tweet by Tucker if you wouldn't mind. Does this have something to do with it, folks? And how the NSA and others may allegedly have gotten a hold of Tucker Carlson's emails? Here's a March 16th tweet from Tucker Carlson.
In El Salvador?
We are live from El Salvador. We just finished sitting down with President Bukele for our new Tucker Carlson original series coming to Fox Nation.
No, but it's a great way to do an ad using his most recent lie and his bloviating bullshit to sell the new Tucker Carlson Originals series.
There were many newsworthy moments we'll share tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox News. Folks, take the time and date down. You heard it here first. Is that what happened?
No, it's not. And thanks for we're a level 2 hype train. Don't forget to subscribe, twitch.com/AlSparks, or become a member on YouTube. That's a great way to help the show. Or patreon.com/AlSparks. Hit the like, the subscribe, thumbs up, super chat, bits, anything you can do to help. And if you can't afford to do anything right now, it's okay.
Was the NSA and other entities looking into Tucker Carlson and figured his conversation with a foreign leader in El Salvador off U.S. soil might be a perfect opportunity to get their mitts on Tucker's emails and
No, I would argue, and the SC alerts thing it's a lovely little noise, but I'm going to turn it down. I would argue that my case actually makes more sense, that far-right groups in Germany and other countries that are racial white supremacist groups are still in contact with his head writer. And if you're doing a two-hop, then his emails with that guy are what are going to get him in trouble. And that somebody else, wholly unrelated to the NSA, also has access to those emails, including that dude who's no longer working, who might want to sell those things to some other organization to make money and it would definitely end up with Tucker Carlson show getting shut down, but that guy might get a good payday from a big news organization.
Communications? Somebody has them. Somebody read the emails and text to Tucker Carlson, and obviously Tucker didn't send them to the NSA.
No, nobody. Obviously, you're making this up. Again, he remember when he said before, I'm not saying this happened. He just said it happened. He is literally saying that these emails and these texts have actually been read by the NSA and that they weren't sent.
And the recipient didn't either,
Sally.
according to Tucker's story. So,
according to Tucker's story, which is bullshit.
How did they get them?
They didn't get them. Tucker's making it up because Tucker knows that somebody in the chain of in the email chain that he was attached to is going to release the shit that he was talking to his ex-head writer about, who is directly talking to white supremacist groups in Europe, just like Steve Bannon is.
Sounds familiar, dude. Yeah, you know.
Doesn't it, Joe? Sounds like the Spygate.
Yeah, it sounds like the same bullshit story you made up before.
Case you and I only talked about for 3 years with Carter Page, Mike Flynn, and others.
My man.
No. Mike Flynn and others? Sorry. No, Mike Flynn admitted to lying.
Oh, yeah, they were talking to Mike Flynn, was talking to the Russian ambassador. But don't worry, we weren't listening to Flynn.
No, they were listening to the Russian ambassador, and then they unmasked who kept calling him even beyond his regular job. And, of course, what he actually got busted for was his conversations with the Turkish guy.
Listening to the Russian ambassador, and it was just an accident. It was incidental that we scooped up Mike Flynn. Joe, total accident. Total accident. How did we get Flynn? Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, then if Mike Flynn wasn't doing anything wrong, and in the context of his job, he was just talking to to Sergei Lavrov, why didn't he just admit to it then?
We were just listening to the Russian ambassador, and Flynn hopped on the phone.
No, he did. He just hopped on. Who else was on the line then?
Right.
You know? Thanks, Mark.
Right. It is. The intelligence. He was not an intelligence target. Can you put that up again? Put up.
Yeah. Most mid-level dealers aren't the intelligence target of a RICO, intel gathering effort.
The NSA statement again. He was very carefully worded. Notice it doesn't say.
Yes, it's very carefully worded to directly address Tucker Carlson's accusations.
Hey, we have not read Tucker Carlson's emails. It doesn't say that. He's got it up on the screen.
That's because that wasn't Tucker Carlson's accusation. Tucker Carlson's accusation was that they were monitoring our electronic communications and is planning to leak them in an attempt to take the show off the air. They directly, in a tweet with 240 characters, directly address his accusation. Specifically, because he made a specific accusation. He didn't go, how in the world do they get my emails? The accusation, he said, was they are monitoring our electronic communications. Monitoring ours. Ours. Which, by the way, if the ours then is supposed to be Tucker and whoever they're actually monitoring, then he considers himself part of a clique with whoever that person is. It isn't just, well, I wouldn't consider the president of El Salvador. Hi. What? Hey, love you. I'm yelling at Tucker Carlson. Ish. Bambino. Love you. My girl walked in. You can't not say hi. You can't.
Again, it says Tucker has never been an intelligence target of the agency.
That's because that was Tucker's allegation. Dum-dum. Tucker specifically said, and it's right there, monitoring our electronic communications. Not caught up some of our electronic. They got some of my emails when they were monitoring somebody else. And he won't say that because then he'd have to tell you who the person he believes they are monitoring is. And people would go, holy shit, why are you talking to that guy a lot?
See. Well, according to the agency and the FBI, either was Mike Flynn. Remember their statement? We weren't targeting Flynn. It was an accident. We were targeting the Russian ambassador.
It wasn't an accident either. It was suspicious.
Oh, the language.
Yeah, it matters. It matters specifically. Like, if you're just making shit up on the Dan Bongino show, then language doesn't matter. You can say, I'm not saying this is what happened, and then a moment later literally say, this is what happened. But, when you're an actual organization that is crucial to the safety and security of the United States of America, you kind of, parsing words does matter.
Joe, how many times have we heard this story? We've
well, twice today.
Heard this story before. Now you wonder.
Well, no, you've heard the story before, and you are pretending that this story is like that story. See, that's how that works too. You like I know my neighbor's house got broken into. Let's do this we'll work with this. Person legitimately, neighbor's house got broken into. Didn't really happen, but for the sake of this argument, I know that my neighbor's house got broken into. And they stole paintings. I don't have any expensive paintings, but let's work with it. Let's say I have some expensive paintings. And I know that they stole some expensive paintings from that house. And then I take some of my own paintings and I sell them on the black market, like under the table to somebody who wanted them. And then I smash a window and claim that my paintings were stolen, and I get the insurance money for them. So I double my money. And I tell you, look, this has happened before. My neighbor's house got robbed. That was a real robbery. That was a real concern. They didn't rob my house, though. I made that shit up. And I'm using the fact that my neighbor's house was robbed to cover the fact that I'm a criminal. See how that works? See how that works, Dan Bongino? See that? Okay. God damn.
Why me as a former 1811 Fed myself, I'm terrified of this stuff. I've seen the power of the government up front.
Well, that's because you cannot be trusted with that power. So, of course, you have all the awful thoughts.
Close and personal.
Guys, the shit I tried to get away with when I was running security, and the guys I worked with who I picked for my team were the biggest scumbags. I wouldn't trust them as far as I could throw them, but
you have the power to take someone's life and freedom away. Even the president doesn't have that power. This is a big...
Well, sure he does. He actually has power over the NSA.
Deal. Are we abusing this stuff?
No, we're not. You're making it up.
Again, I don't know if Tucker's story is true.
It isn't. It's a fucking lie. It's a lie. Tucker's lying. Tucker's lying because someone's about to leak emails that have him talking to a white nationalist. I've just settled on that. That's as logical as we would need from this story. This is what it reeks of this.
However, I do know if it was Brian Stelter making those allegations and the president was Trump, that this would be a front page story all over the globe.
Yeah, but Brian Stelter would not be making that allegation because it didn't happen anymore. But Tucker Carlson can make shit up, and you and everybody else will just pepper it all over the airwaves.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Well, yeah, I mean, make up your own fantasy story and like, dude, if dragons attacked the White House and Trump was president and they laid eggs in the Capitol dome and took a shit on the lawn, it would be front page news. Guaranteed. Yes, good point. He does believe Tucker Carlson 100%.
But because it's a conservative, nobody cares.
Tucker Carlson is not a conservative.
Keep in mind, like I said, I have no relationship with Tucker.
Yes, you do. You work at the same network, and he's crucial to the bottom line of that network. You both work for Fox.
I've had like 2 conversations with him.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You work with the network he's on. You have a business relationship with him.
This is not like, oh, you're just backing up your boy. He's not my boy. We barely know each other.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, you're a meathead, and he's pencil neck, and you'd probably put him in a headlock.
If this story was about Tucker Carlson or Chuck Todd, I'd be covering it with the same intensity.
No, you wouldn't.
Like I said,
again, Chuck Todd wouldn't make up a story like
I don't speak with forked tongue. I ran for office against the Patriot Act. You could go listen to the tapes from 10 years ago. This isn't new to me. Not one of these fake virtue signaling, new pseudo-libertarians who all of a sudden, when it was Trump, they didn't like the Patriot Act, but they loved it before. I've been there on the ground in
it's the other way around,
this
isn't it?
fight for a long time. Did the NSA use one of Tucker's trips overseas to grab his emails?
No.
It's a serious question.
No, it isn't. It is an in-serious question. Because not only does Tucker not make that allegation, Tucker, by the way, has a whistleblower has said that they are looking at your emails, that they're looking at his emails, specifically some emails. And Tucker knows this, apparently, because of his concern in his segment. And he didn't at any point bring up that my conversations with the president of El Salvador are part of those. Oh my God, what a douchebag. So boring. But anyways, that's the crux of the entire NSA back and forth. This will be a spiraling pile of bullshit, for the record, over the next couple of days, probably maybe through the weekend. Obviously, Jim Jordan and Matt Gaetz are pushing this a lot to mainly cover their ass about January 6th. And of course, Matt Gaetz's upcoming legal issues where he's about to go through some things. And that you'll hear that through that time period. But after that, it'll go away. I mean, I'll just call it here. There is no there. And if anything does come out, he's going to, oh my God. If anything does come out about Tucker Carlson, it's going to be because somebody that he talks to all the time leaked emails, in their own momentary Project Veritas on that. Okay. I don't need any Dinesh D'Souza in my life right now. Let's do this real quick. So, Trump did a town hall with Hannity in Texas while he was there for the border kerfuffle, something like that. And I'm only gonna do one segment. I've got a couple of segments of it, and they broke it up. This is the Trump made up his mind about running in 2024 during Hannity exclusive. So apparently this is him deciding, about how much money he can make off of this. Hi, I'm sitting here with Sean Hannity, and I'm leaning forward in a weird way because I can't sit in a chair normally.
All right, as we continue Hannity on the ground in Texas tonight, we continue with the former president, Donald Trump. What a great crowd.
Yeah, what a great crowd. So good.
We don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, no, we don't.
But let's talk about your future plans. Now, I have a funny...
I'm so proud. I'm so proud.
Let me ask the crowd of everybody here.
you think he made up his mind just in that last second? Like while Hannity's staring at him, like where are the like birds and hearts flying around his head? And then look at the Donald look where he's like, is that the moment he made up his mind? Watch this. Watch his face.
Let me ask the crowd of everybody here.
Let me ask the crowd, what?
Would you like to see the president run again in 2024?
Yeah, we didn't self-select people out and only allow Trump sycophants in. By the way, that dude, I hope there's not an ejection button. He is not applauding. Neither is that person. The woman is clapping, but her child is not. We'll see. Come on now. Great people, great. Thank you for weeding out anyone who might not think the sun shines out of my ass, Sean.
You're not going to answer, but I have to ask. Where are you in the process of, let me ask you this, without giving the answer what the answer is, have you made up your mind?
Yes.
I think you got it right. Yeah. When you look,
That's a no.
It's funny because I've known you 25 years.
Uh-huh.
And I remember when you were first talking about running.
I remember when you were saying, how would you feel about being client 3 for Michael Cohen? And you're like, I don't know, I'd rather be client 1. And I'm client 1.
And we actually argued. Remember we'd argue about certain things in Iraq and certain wars and everything? And then you became president. And I remember when I supported...
Remember when you wouldn't let me argue with you anymore.
I said he will govern as a conservative, and people didn't understand. You really governed as conservative as any president in the modern day. That is your...
In the modern day. Yeah, fuck Reagan.
Core belief.
And
yeah.
Actually, Sean, you have known me for a long time, and my views have never really changed. I mean, if you look at my views haven't changed. I felt this way about these crazy, endless wars where we're losing so many wonderful, young, beautiful people. And
yeah, if it was just old people dying, I mean, I'd let it slide. What?
We're not fighting. We're just sort of there, and we don't do it. We knocked out ISIS. You saw what I did during a short period of time.
Sure.
Over a period of a year and a half.
Wiped out the caliphate.
ISIS wiped out the caliphate. It was getting
in a way that no one's ever seen.
Worse and worse. But
it was getting worse and worse. It was actually not. It was actually near the end, and he had to be talked into it. He actually wanted to get out when it was like 70%.
But we got to bring our people back home. It's time. 21.
Yeah, Biden's doing that.
1 years and after.
You could have done that if you'd have just jump-started the part where you have to bring the people who helped us in Afghanistan here to protect them from getting killed, but you wouldn't do that because you wanted to keep them. You wanted to just leave them in Afghanistan to die. So the generals didn't want to just leave those folks, so they needed that step first. Now Biden's doing that step. He's committed to doing that step, and that's how they're doing it in a big hurry so they can bring people in.
Afghanistan.
He had 4 years to do it.
21 years. And so we rebuilt our military. It was totally depleted. It was terrible. We had jets that were 40 years old, jet fighters that were 40 years old that they didn't make parts for anymore. You had to go to the desert to get the parts.
Yeah, I hate that. When you drive out in the middle of the desert and look through an old scrap heap, basically you had to go to Roswell.
Well, they have what they call the airplane graveyards. And we have brand new planes, brand new everything, all made in the USA. No, we have to get...
No, it's the F-35s made in 7 different countries.
We have to get ourselves set. We have to reorient. But the Middle East has been a disaster for this country. We've spent trillions and trillions of dollars. We got nothing. And the beauty was we didn't need their oil anymore, but now we're going to need their oil again because we're not going to be energy independent for very long. I don't believe we are now. And when I left, it was...
Yeah, we are.
It was $1.87 a gallon for gas.
Because no one could drive anywhere?
And now it's $3.50.
It's almost $1.30 more just since Joe's gotten to be president.
I mean, as people have started driving again, as the country has opened, as people can go back to work?
Ask you a question. Because I would argue, and I did argue on air often, that you treated a whole other standard for you. If you had sons...
Well, yeah, no other president had had a videotape of him come out bragging about grabbing women by the pussy. So that would kind of set that. Now after, knowing about Lyndon Johnson showing his dick to a reporter, a female reporter, when she asked him about when we're going to get out of Vietnam, and or like the rambling on tape stuff that Nixon said about the Jews, which was very concerning. If that stuff had come out before, if there'd been Nixon tapes before he got elected, and he still got elected, there'd probably be a different level of scrutiny. His first term would have been quite different.
That lied on a gun permit, threw a gun in a dumpster, smoked crack, got
like Mike Lindell,
money from Ukraine with no experience.
Well, no, he was there to facilitate the money being spent. He wasn't actually there as a consultant on oil and gas. He was there with the other guys from his company to shepherd the money from other investors because they trusted his name, because they knew, because his dad was vice president, that he couldn't steal the money and run off to Russia like the last guys did.
Kazakhstan, no experience. Russia with no experience. 100,000.
The Russian money actually was given in a German wing of the country, the company, Rosemont Seneca.
$1,000 shopping spree and a $1.5 billion deal with the Bank of China with military connections. I have a funny feeling that the media would go after you. It would be unrelenting. Why does Joe Biden get a pass?
Because none of those things are true. Oh, sorry. He's probably got a better reason.
The Democrats get a pass. Hillary Clinton got a pass. The Democrats get a pass.
Yeah, she got a pass. That's why she lost the election, because of 75,000 nose-holding progressives in those states. That's why.
You look at a guy like Bill Barr, they said they're going to impeach him. And once they said they're going to impeach him, he became afraid. He became afraid. I said, what's wrong with you?
Is that how the conversation went? This is good. This is inside workings of the Trump White House, where he's having conversations with Bill Barr.
Became scared. They go after people. They go after him so hard and so viciously. And all of a sudden, that's what happens. Not in all cases. We have some people that are incredible. But you have some people, they get brought over to the other side for fear. And we can't have that. We have to fight so strong. Look at me. They go after me with Mueller, with this one, with that one, with impeachment 1, impeachment. I call it the impeachment hoax 1 and 2.
It's a great name. It's good. Yeah. If you're going to do 2, it's going to have some, addendum to it. You know what I mean? Like a Wrath of Khan, Search for Spock kind of a thing. Impeachment 2. Let's see. Me in Ukraine.
And all of this, all nonsense, made up stuff. In fact, they were the ones who were guilty. They come after me. New York radical left prosecutors come after me.
Yeah, this is where it is. This is the part that's getting sweaty. And look at him staring right into the lens. They're coming after me for these things. I didn't even. Is that rolling?
You got to always fight. You got to keep fighting.
Yeah, it's important to fight. And by the way, anybody want to go back and look at all the compilation videos about how often Democrats say the word fight? Remember that? Remember that whole thing leading up to it? Good Lord.
It's a disgust.
Yeah, don't forget to give a thumbs up and a like. Click the like. Just do it. Click the like. And by the way, if you're a troll and you're mad about the show and all that kind of stuff, please click the thumbs down. Write something in the comments. Just do it, because it benefits me in the algorithm. It doesn't matter. It's to some degree. I mean, my stuff gets unlimited ads because of the stuff I cover anyways, as far as monetization. So it's not even that. But a thumbs down might affect that some, but it won't change it on a level that will actually make a difference overall. But as far as the channel goes, it helps me, because other people who like stuff that has been thumbs downed by you this will show up in there. You see how it doesn't just work on a positive algorithm, it also works on a negative algorithm. I'm just saying. So thanks for the help. I'm just saying. Thank you, trolls. Thank you.
Disgusting thing. It's very unfair.
It's very unfair. It's so unfair. And the worst thing about the Democrats is they all play the victim card.
They don't call politics a blood sport for no reason.
They really don't, unless they're embarrassing themselves. Politics is not a blood sport. I mean, it is in Russia. But sorry, shouldn't have brought it up. I said the R word.
If you move forward, you know how difficult it is, but you seem ready to re-engage in that battle.
Mm-hmm.
And when you
it's not that I want to. The country needs it.
Yeah, it's not about me.
We have to take care of this country. I don't want to. Is this fun?
I don't want to.
Fight. We have to take care of.
Listen, I don't want to. Is this fun?
I don't want to. Is this fun? Fighting constantly, fighting always. I mean, the country, what we've done is so important. When I say the greatest tax cuts, now they want to raise your taxes. They want to double your taxes, and the Republic.
No one wants to go from 21% to 42%. No one's suggesting that, especially the administration. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody suggesting nearly everything. As an individual congressperson from all over the country, everywhere, that's, like Rand Paul is suggesting that we decriminalize all drugs and just dump them on street corners near schools. I get it. There's somebody to say it, but no one actually with the means and wherewithal to get it done is suggesting it.
Republicans in the Senate and the House, but the Republicans in the Senate have to fight hard that the taxes don't get up, because that'll be terrible for the country.
I've known you.
The taxes don't get up.
For years. I've watched you for years.
I've been staring through your window. I watch you shower.
Trump Tower. I watched you all the years you were in the White House.
I'm watching you right now. I like the cut of your jib.
You sleep maybe 4 hours a night, 4.5, 5 max. You never stop working. Joe Biden averages less than one scheduled event a day, gets up at 9:30. He gets his warm, milky, and sippy cup around 7 p.m. If he's good, he gets a night-night story. Now, in all seriousness...
fuck America. That's basically what Sean Hannity is saying, by the way.
We saw what happened at the G7, where he just was paralyzed. You see what happens, how he struggled.
And weirdly, he was just paralyzed, apparently. He made a bunch of speeches. We all saw them. But he was just paralyzed. And that's why we have a 5-year truce on a trade embargo or trade issue with Europe, with the European Union about airplane parts. That's over. It's on a 5-year hiatus, so we can go back to buying and selling parts. That was handled.
To communicate. I asked you, and you kind of punted the last time you were on, do you see a cognitive decline in Joe Biden?
Yeah, please show us using your biggest words.
What does that mean to America?
So let me say it a little bit differently. He is surrounded by vicious people that are very smart.
Vicious, smart people.
But they don't stand for the values that the people in this room stand for. These are very smart people.
The people in the room so the people in the room aren't smart. The people in Biden that are around Biden are smart.
I mean, he didn't campaign against me. He didn't debate well. He didn't make good.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. He beat you at the debates. That's not even close.
Speeches.
He hid in the basement.
I watched him on the.
We all did. It was a pandemic.
State of the Union, get up and speak, and it was terrible. It was. I don't want to go into that, but it was terrible. It was a.
I don't want to go into it, but it was awful. And fuck America. Right?
Terrible. And I thought he was going to get killed. And I had to watch your competition just to see what they were saying. Now, FDR was a great speaker.
Oh, we're doing the FDR thing again. He's doing this beat again.
You remember some of the speeches he made were incredible. And the only thing you have to fear is fear itself, with that beautiful.
Sure. The only thing you have to fear is fear. It's actually kind of a tinny voice because of the microphones of the time. And that's the only piece he knows. I played a chunk of a Roosevelt speech when he brought it up the first time. And if he was running against Roosevelt now, he would call him a commie like Bernie Sanders and say his voice was weak.
They compared him to FDR.
Yeah, about the content of his speech. Now, granted, I understand how you could be confused because technically speaking, you can't understand the concepts in the speech. You only hear the words as they kind of float past you like ping pong balls.
Okay. Now, the good news is they've lost.
You should have been watching Hannity. That was not what was happening.
No, I know. I watched that. Yeah. Well, that one I could have predicted.
Yeah.
But look, there was nothing good. It was embarrassing. And they were comparing him to FDR. Now, It was so embarrassing to watch that. I couldn't believe it. I was surprised. I watched specifically because I said, he's going to get killed. He didn't get killed. They said, great. And Nancy was sitting behind him with the single biggest mask I've ever seen. That was the largest. It covered her entire face. I've never seen anything like it. No, I've never seen anything like it.
It's a crowd pleaser. It's a great gag.
I've got to wrap.
Yeah, they canceled the Arizona rally and the 4th of July. I think one of his Florida rallies got kicked, too.
Didn't rip up his speech either.
Like she did with you, Rip. Mr. President.
No, because it was the context of it was well thought out and actually decent.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, bye. Oh, so there's another piece of it. Hold on. Wait a second.
To go border, where for the entire hour we will be joined by the restricted asylum
I'm in the
case.
weeds. This is he does his impersonation of Homer Simpson right after this. It's beautiful.
He stopped Obama's disastrous catch and release program. He instituted what was known as the Stay in Mexico policy for new migrants.
Jumping ahead.
He negotiated
There
deals.
He is. Hold on.
If I ask this crowd, do you miss them yet? I think I know the answer.
Well, yeah, because you're not letting anybody in who doesn't like him. You're screening them out.
From day one, the day you and Melania
went down the escalator.
Trump came down that escalator.
Oh, God. I'm beginning to think they have to start it out with him and give him a timeline to attach to. Otherwise, he'll get up and go to the car and look in the trunk.
You talked about...
I have not watched this before.
...securing our country's borders. You had to fight hard to get the money to build 500 miles of wall.
Yeah.
To stay in...
Well, you had to... because Mexico didn't? Because you kept saying Mexico was going to pay for it, and Mexico's going to pay for it, and Mexico's never going to pay for
Mexico policy. You built the wall. You ended...
And it doesn't work, apparently?
Catch and release. Now we see what's happening. Your reaction to all of it.
Well, there has never been a better time 6 months ago, and there's never been a worse time. We had the tightest security. You could come into our country legally. But you know what else we were stopping? Massive amounts of drugs, human traffickers, bad people, criminals. They're emptying their jails into our country.
Yeah, and those people walk straight to the United States, and Mexico doesn't care that every Guatemalan rapist is just kind of... Just keep walking.
You know, other countries are emptying their jails into our country. We never had it better, and now we've never had it worse. In the history of our country...
Really? This is the worst. All right, well, at least we know what the top is, or the bottom.
I just saw, we're with the governor, the lieutenant governor.
The Shemp governor.
With Ken, we're with a whole group. I think the largest contingent of Congress people ever at the border.
No.
From what I understand.
Yeah, you don't understand much.
I think they're mostly here, too, by the way. I see them, a lot of them right in front of me.
Where else are they going to go?
We had the largest. We even have Doc Ronnie, right? So my doctor,
cognitive test,
who became a congressman.
Oh, no.
By the way, Ronnie, would you mind giving Joe a cognitive test? President Sippy Cup, I don't know how well he's going to do, but anyway, I won't get...
By the way, that's Hannity's nickname for Biden, President Sippy Cup. He says it all the time, just for the record. If you'll notice, by the way, that Trump does not have a bottle of water next to him.
Get you in trouble with these
comments. We aced it. I think I can say that I aced it.
No, you did not ace it.
He didn't get one question wrong, did he? 30 out of 30.
Yeah, it's a you just got hit in the head with a shovel. What's your name test?
Wow.
And they did get a little more difficult after you got by 15, I would say. But
I heard the first three questions are, is it a giraffe or an elephant, right?
Well, you know, that's what the fake news does. They take the first 2 or 3 questions and they put them in. But let me tell you, they would not get those last 15 right, certainly not the last 10.
Oh, my God, that this asshole thinks that it's hard.
I can tell you, but anyway. But we have a border that's very bad right now and very dangerous for our country. And fortunately, we have a lot of great people in Texas in particular.
Well, apparently not. Apparently, if you're not in office, they just don't give a shit. They just let everybody walk through.
The job they're doing.
The job they're doing sucks, apparently?
You know was fascinating.
I mean, how do you do that? How do you go to Texas and Arizona to the border and go, we're just letting people through, and just shit all over the Border Patrol as if they've just stopped giving a damn?
All of a sudden, Biden is blaming you
I know.
for the current crisis.
Well, yeah, because there's stacks of people, asylum seekers, who have been waiting in Mexico, and you never dealt with the backlog.
And
It's called misinformation.
It's fake
They've
news?
done it for 5 years, 6 years. Russia, Russia, Russia. You know, I told you the story. I told Sean the story.
I'm sure, well, but tell us again, because I'm sure none of us have heard it 10 times.
I'd go around, people would say, sir, do you know anything about Russia? This is what I'm running years ago. I'd say, no.
I don't know anything about Russia. Really? Great. They're one of our key opponents on the world stage. They lately, in the last 10 years, they've been attempting to hack all of our power grid, hospitals. All the guys. Do you know anything about them? No, I don't know anything about them. You do know that their leader has been shuffling himself into the top position because of the laws there about how long he can serve, and basically is shadow running the country as, when he was prime minister and now as president, and then he's just kind of jockeying back and forth, and he just murders his rivals and jails them and has people killed and sends assassins into Germany and into our country, attempts to kill. Do you know anything about it? No, I don't know anything about it. You might want to brush up.
A month later, do you know anything about Russia? Another guy comes up, sir, do you know anything about, then I get a call from him, do you know anything about Russia? I said, what's going on with Russia?
I don't know. Ask Eric.
And it was the Russia hoax. That was misinformation. Now they're saying it was the Republican Party that wanted to defund the police. You hear that, Billy?
No, they do now.
Billy's not a big defunder of the police, I can tell you. The Republican Party wants to defund the police. This
Well, they're the only ones who voted against the funding.
just started yesterday.
That's because yesterday they voted against using funds from COVID to support local police departments that have lost personnel, and they need money to replace those people. So they voted in Congress, and all the Democrats voted for it, and the only people who voted against it were Republicans. So yesterday. That's why it started yesterday.
I don't know how they're getting away with that one, but all you have to do is, the good thing with you take the old clips. There's no getting away.
I played the greatest hits last night, sir. Yes, I played them all. When you look at what else is happening.
Are you playing the newest hits? Like there's some hot tracks that just dropped. Let me see. Real quick, if I may. Let's see. Vote against police funding. Let's see. I'll go back to this one. I mean, congressional Republicans fought tooth and nail to stop President Biden's American Rescue Plan, which has provided billions of dollars for local law enforcement. Despite congressional Republicans' desperate attempts to distract and muddy the waters, the one question they should answer is, why did they vote against the critical funding for our police? Thanks to President Biden and Democrats' leadership passing the American Rescue Plan, the police departments across the country now have access to $350 billion in funding. Wall Street Journal. Mr. Biden emphasized that state and local officials in areas experiencing surges in gun violence can use $350 billion in COVID-19 relief funding to hire more law enforcement personnel, even if it raises the total number beyond its pre-pandemic level. More cops than before the pandemic. Despite congressional Republicans' universal opposition to this funding, local officials are already accessing American Rescue Plan funds to pay their first responders. Herald Tribune. Bonus payments of $1,000 will go to teachers, principals, first responders, and correctional officers in Florida as part of a roughly $100 billion state budget finalized Tuesday, powered by $6.6 billion in federal COVID-19 recovery cash. Commercial appeal. New guidance from the White House means the city of Memphis may use a windfall of federal money for its ongoing fight against violent crime, including for purposes such as hiring new police officers. Mayor Jim Strickland announced Wednesday. Indy Star. Noblesville police firefighters to receive $2K bonus. Other city employees will get $1K. In New York 360, federal COVID-19 funding will pay to rehire Watertown police officers. But it's not important. I mean, they voted against it. Democrats all voted for it. Never mind.
Too, and it's interesting that.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, granted,
We're going to be appointing very pro-crime judges.
Just to clarify.
It's like Florida. and South Dakota and many others. They're offering Texas and Arizona support now.
That's right.
And their law enforcement, because in the dark of night, they're taking illegal immigrants, flying them into these states, and now the states are responsible.
They're flying them into. Oh, you mean they're flying people, children, unaccompanied minors, to places like Nebraska where they have groups and organizations and foster care facilities where they can take care of them. Do you mean those children?
That's right.
For food and
right.
shelter and health care and education. They can't
And the
afford
states don't even know they're coming. They bring people in, and the states don't even know. They say, here, you're taking this. It's an allotment. It's called an allotment.
I love how he thinks he's inventing words.
And the governors, Republican governors, are, by the way, you look at the well-run states, it's all done by, for the most part, Republican governors.
Oh, you mean the ones that are always on the federal tit, who need more money than they give?
All of them. In terms of crime, in terms of everything else. No, we have,
And you mean in terms of landmass and very low population?
great Republican governors. We really do.
So the policies that have been reversed. Joe hasn't come to the border. You've been here many times.
Right, because he's down there as a demagogue, and he's demonizing the people who are crossing, so he's using them as a prop.
Kamala really didn't come to the border. It seemed like a photo op to me.
Yeah, and nobody hates a photo op at the border more than Donald Trump.
What would you want them to know that they don't know, or maybe they do know and they don't seem to care about?
Yeah, tell them what they do know or they don't know that they don't know. Give them a Donald Rumsfeld right now.
Well, Kamala wouldn't have come if she didn't hear I was coming.
Oh,
I was
true.
invited by the governor, and I said yes. And I said yes, to my honor.
Because I don't have anything better to
Because we
do.
were very proud of the job
And they took me to a golf course while I was here.
we did. Nobody's ever done the job that we've done. We built over, now I guess it's close to 500 miles of wall. And we were going to build an extra 200 because we had money left over. We were going to do an extra 200.
Why didn't you?
And nobody's ever done this. And all he had to do is go.
An extra. By the way, there was like, remember when he was talking just yesterday? It was like an extra, all they had to do was finish. It was like a month. There's not 200 miles of wall that's going to be done in a month. It's just making shit up.
Another 2 months, and the wall would have been totally completed. And by the way,
And Mike Pillow is not at this event. Mike Pillow was at the Wellington, Ohio thing. He's working on his cyber symposium.
they have to paint the wall. I'm going to give that job to
Jesus.
Brian. We have to paint, great congressman.
No, you can't give him that job. He doesn't have that job. You're not president, neither is he.
We have to paint
the wall. I don't know what. This fixation is so friggin' weird.
the wall because it's starting to rust.
Do what?
Congressman, we have to paint the wall because it's starting to rust. It's supposed to be painted, and they don't even want to paint the wall.
What?
It's so disgraceful. 2 more.
It's a disgraceful wall. I agree. What? What is that? What?
More months, everything would have been completed.
Yeah, they were all they had to do was one coat of paint. Yeah, he wants to paint it black. Yeah. I see my big wall and I want to paint it black.
And they said, just like with the Keystone Pipeline, they're not going to do it.
Yes, the wall is actually a Canadian wall.
48,000 jobs out the window, and an environmental pipeline, much better than other forms of transportation.
Yeah, you assume that transportation actually has to happen through the United States. It does not. There is no reason why Canadian shale oil can't go east or west to one of their ports and out to market. Bringing it through the United States does not benefit the United States because it's better than trucks. Both suck. Don't bring your shale oil trucks onto our highways.
For the product. So it's...
Yeah, the pipeline's rusty. That's right. Why didn't they paint the pipeline?
When you look at what's happening, and inflation is going to be the killer of them all.
Is it?
Because inflation is going to destroy our country.
Okay, good to know. Just remember that, by the way. I mean, obviously, murderers, rapists, and people, human traffickers are crossing the border or whatever, like The Purge as a series. But honestly, that's nothing. Nothing. Inflation.
The border is going to destroy our country.
Well, yeah, and then inflation. But when inflation first, inflation will destroy it, and then things will be so expensive that people will stampede across the border from poorer countries to buy the shit.
I want to get to all of that.
Wait,
destroy our country. The border is going to destroy our country.
I want to get.
Whoa! Did you see that? Did you see that? He gibberished for a minute. Can we make gibberish a verb? He was gibberishing again. He had a brain fart. Watch this. Watch. I'm not kidding. Watch what happens.
Inflation is going to destroy our country. The border is going to destroy our country.
I want to get to all of that.
Is going to destroy our country. The border is going to destroy our country.
I want to get to all of that.
The border is going to destroy our country. Cut to the thing. They had a 7-second delay or something for that. Holy shit. I mean, that's amazing.
Inflation is going to destroy our country. The border is going to destroy our country.
I want to.
You know what else? And you know what else? He's saying you know what else, and whatever that else was, they cut it.
Get to all of that.
We're gonna get to all that. You know what else?
Destroy our country. The border is going to destroy our country.
I want to get to all of that.
Jesus. Man, and this was live. Wink, wink. It wasn't. I mean, they pre-taped it, obviously. Well, yeah, total brain fart. And Biden's the one.
Destroy our country. The border is going to destroy our country.
And you know this? And you know this? Come on. And you know what else? A person, woman, man. And you know what else? Camera TV.
I want to get to all of that. If Donald Trump and
they went to commercial and then they came back.
We had a hard time getting video. There were even congressmen, and I know Louis was part of it. I know that Senator.
Yeah, it would be difficult to get anything useful from Louis Gohmert.
Ted Cruz was down here, and many others. I'm not ignoring a lot of you. And I know that if it wasn't for them, they wouldn't allow our cameras in the new cages they were building for kids.
Yeah.
Now, in
the new cages they were building. I see.
2018, they accused you of putting children in cages. It turns out the video was from 2014.
Right.
You were not president. Now, Joe Biden.
Hey, you know what else happened in 2014? VA choice.
Biden is building these cages in the middle of a pandemic.
No, they're not building the cages in the pandemic. They're using the facilities again, but there's actually fewer people in there now. Like, can we stop pretending that there's the same number of people coming through at the height of summer right now in 112-degree heat that there was when it was cooler earlier this year? Can we just, like, when it normally goes up, can we just stop pretending that? I guess not.
Rate of positive cases of COVID.
Yep.
And you know what else?
Kids living on top of each other.
And other than that, there's nothing to like about the whole thing.
Imagine for a second.
Okay.
What would it? What would the?
Whoa! Imagine. Whoa! Imagine if you.
Press have been like, and Democrats been saying, if you had built these new cages, which they're building all over here.
But I really had that because in 2018 and even after 2018.
You mean 2019?
They came out with these horrible pictures. And somebody came up and said, well, it was the contractor. He said, but I built those cages in 2014 during Obama's administration.
Yeah, it wasn't that they exist. It was who was in them and why. That's like saying there's a picture of you hitting someone with a hammer. And you're killing that person. And they're going, yeah, but that's, I didn't make the hammer. I didn't hand that guy the hammer. I handed the hammer to somebody else 2 years ago, and they were using it to pound nails. Yeah, but it's the same hammer. That's it.
Administration. And it wasn't Trump. It was Obama that built those cages.
Yeah, but who'd you put in them?
Just got a little bit lucky. And after
a little bit lucky,
we said that, all of a sudden the whole cage thing went away. But now they're building them again because there's so many kids coming in. And, many of the kids are on suicide watch, something we've never heard of. Think of
yeah. No, they're not. I mean, he made this up a couple days ago.
It's so miserable. It's so hot. It's like hell.
Yeah, that's why. It's the heat that's making them commit suicide. So basically global warming. So you believe in?
I mean, I will say, Although right now I think it was hotter in New York than it was in Texas. It was 101 degrees in New York. This was like, I got here, it was like cool. But their kids are on suicide watch. Think of that.
Sad.
It's a terrible thing.
Because their parents sent them alone into a desert and they don't know anyone and they don't have any contact with anyone. What happened to the 8,800 kids you dumped in Juarez? They're just gone.
90% of the heroin crosses that southern border.
Yeah.
Now,
The fentanyl comes in through the ports.
fentanyl. We've had the 2 biggest fentanyl busts in the history of the country.
So, okay, so fentanyl was coming in at a huge spike, but it wasn't until Biden was in office that we had the 2 biggest busts in history. So it was just getting through before? Is that what was happening?
We're losing over 300 Americans a week, in some cases more.
It's the worst thing of all. A sheriff just said at a meeting we had a round table, and these sheriffs are incredible. The law enforcement in Texas and other places.
Great.
Yeah, wherever they are. I mean, not the NSA, of course. Yeah, Hail Tucker.
He's so incredible.
And does Hannity have chew stuck in his jaw? No, I think he had jaw threading, like a non-surgical facelift. That's my theory.
He said,
or he's just got a lot of makeup on. It's hard to tell. Yeah, it'll be MS-13.
I didn't even know that. He said, for the end of our administration, we had fentanyl virtually stopped.
No. All the dips in any stuff that was happening as far as people crossing the border, all related to COVID. No one was going anywhere. That's it.
Now he said it's coming in at levels that we've never seen before.
Well, they're arresting people with it.
We had it stopped. It was very tough to get. It was nasty. Getting through our border, especially with almost the 500 miles of wall, it was nasty.
So what happened to the wall? Is it gone? Oh, it rusted. That's right.
To get through.
Yeah, it was a rusty wall. You can, I don't know if you know this, but like, unless they paint the wall, the fentanyl just goes right through.
And these people, and I gave them the right to stop people.
That you didn't give them the right. The Border Patrol's literal job is to stop people. The fuck are you talking about?
Now, they're not even allowed to talk to people.
Well, then how are they rounding them up and shipping them to Nebraska?
You're not allowed to talk to people.
You're not allowed to talk to people.
But again...
What? No, but again. The Border Patrol... Who at the Border Patrol is saying that they've gotten orders from the Biden administration not to even talk to people? Just let them through. Everybody just...
People come...
Like, what kind of oath did these assholes take?
Coming in is bad. Prisoners and real serious criminals of the world, murderers, walking in. I'll never forget. I'm watching, of all places, CNN, okay? This was a short-term watch. And they had a reporter.
He always watches CNN, by the way, because he wants to be on CNN. He knows that Fox is the dregs and they kiss his ass, and he knows that he goes there for the attention, but there's no respect in it.
No, this is before...
I can't hear you. What'd you say?
Oh, no. Well, now their ratings are down 79%. This was... But I'm watching CNN, and...
Yeah, there's always a huge drop-off right after a hurricane ends.
A woman reporter is asking, what did you do? What did you do? It's a very famous lip. And this guy looks at her, murder. She said, what? Murder. And they cut off the...
Okay. He mentioned this before, too. Let's see. CNN reporter asks murder... I don't know, whatever. Connection to how the president responded when asked. Asks immigrant. I don't know how to even phrase this. Let's see. Videos. Famous videos of this. Seen produced speaks during arrest and download blast CNN live updates countdown to 2018. CNN Stanford New Chris out CNN reporter. Minnesota police zip tie Asian American CNN producer. Sean Penn under crazy El Chapo interview. CNN arrest CNN. Oh, CNN. Oh, okay. Yeah. Anybody know what the hell he's talking about? I mean, I'm sure I'm fine with actually looking it up, but he says it all. He's been saying this one a lot lately. Murder.
The camera. That was the end of that. But we have thousands of hardened.
And by the way, it's a classic clip. Didn't happen during the Biden administration, but it's a classic.
Criminals like we don't even have in this country practically.
Yeah, we don't have murderers in this country. We don't have violent felons in this country. We don't have rapists that just got let out of jail or anything.
MS-13, we took them out by the thousands. You know, I told the story just now. We had the border.
Oh, my God.
The three countries, primarily Guatemala, Honduras.
We've heard this bullshit before.
And back in the would want to land, they couldn't land. They were the three countries. I know the heads of the three countries.
I like them. They send us murderers and rapists.
They're evil.
We have a trade embargo on their rapists.
Evil, but they're not dumb.
I don't know. They're not. Look, we got along. I said, how much?
What did he say?
Smart people. And I like them. They like me. We get along. But, you know, it's like business is business.
You know they're evil, but they're not dumb.
I don't know.
That's it. You know they're evil, but they're not dumb. And I get along with them. You know, it's business.
They're not. Look, we got along. I said, how much do we pay those countries? $500 million, sir. But what does that have to do with it, sir? It has everything to do. Don't pay anymore. We didn't pay. And then I was called.
And then it was caravans.
Stop payment. No, it's called we stop payment. You ever hear the term we stop payment? And we stop.
Yeah, have you ever heard the term stop payment? Like he does with contractors.
Stop payment. And then the next day I get a call from all three. President, you stop payment. No more money coming into the three countries.
President, no more money coming into the three countries. That's how they talk. That's how they speak. Presidents of these countries, yeah.
I said, that's right. You're not taking your criminals back, but we would love to. Nobody asked us properly. We would love to take MS-13 back. They are wonderful people. I said, fine. We sent them back by the thousands. They took them by the thousands.
And then apparently released them from their jails to go back to America. They took them and then released them because apparently, I don't know.
But
I don't know what he thinks that story means.
He's never done that before. Nobody ever did it before.
Yeah, people said, sir, you're an idiot, sir. It's the greatest sir story ever.
Do you have a theory, an idea? Because
Oh, yes, he has many.
I really can't think of one.
Yeah, well, clearly.
Except that, you know, I think in years gone by, I would argue that there were Republicans that wanted illegal immigration because they get cheap labor.
Right.
And I think that Democrats want to provide something of great worth, which would be amnesty, citizenship.
And you have rhinos. You do have rhinos. Look, the rhinos.
There's a lot of rhinos.
Don't lose this thread. He's setting you up, asshole. He's trying to help you. And never mind.
Rhinos out
The
there.
rhinos sometimes, I may say.
Yes, I'm for this part. This is the part that makes me happy.
The rhinos of these people. You don't have any rhinos in this room. We probably have 45 congressmen here and women. This room. We probably have 45 congressmen here and women.
Yeah. Congressmen and congresswomen, but, you know, congressmen here and women.
You don't have
who aren't, you know.
have any rhinos in this group, but you have rhinos. I call them weak Republicans.
It's a great phrase. I would trademark it.
They walk into the White House. I've been watching for 4 weeks now. They walk in, they meet Biden. He doesn't know what the hell's happening. They meet Biden. He's sitting. And they're talking about...
And then he doesn't know what's happening, but he walks out with the better deal. They walk out and he has the better deal.
Infrastructure. And finally they walk out, they have a deal. And the deal is a terrible deal, but it's a deal.
What is the deal? What is it? Tell them what the deal is. Tell them what's in it.
And it sort of reminds me of England a long time ago. We have a deal. We have a deal. You remember the deal they made with Germany? Not too good. That didn't
Oh, you mean like the one you made with China? The trade deal during COVID?
work out too well, right? But they reminded me, they walk out, we have a deal, we have a deal. And it was the typical names. There were a couple of good ones in there. I don't know how they got roped in, but they walk in. So they have a deal. And then Biden canceled the deal because the radical left said, you can't make that deal. That deal's no good. We want to spend $6 trillion.
Well,
and most of it...
He didn't cancel the deal. What are you talking about? What show is he
They
watching?
would backdoor everything they didn't get in the deal. They would backdoor through the reconciliation process.
Right. The idea is that we're going to get as much through this as possible. They still have to get past Manchin Sinema as far as getting the reconciliation because they need all 50, and they have to deal with that part of it. But they're making as much of the infrastructure bipartisan because, technically speaking, the Republicans want this stuff, and they will sign on to it. And then anything that in the reconciliation product that they're going to come up with, they can stiff arm and still claim that they got it for their constituents.
Well, we need better leadership at the Senate level. You need better leadership. You need somebody better than Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, go after him.
Yeah. Mitch McConnell can no longer do the job.
When you know, it was a very difficult process because I was covering it every night, and that was Congress was not assisting you for the money for the border wall.
You mean the Congress of Mexico?
Which was a signature promise that you made.
Yeah.
That Mexico would pay for it.
In 2016.
That Mexico would pay for it, repeatedly.
But you found...
Who's gonna pay for the wall? Mexico, 100%.
Found a way to get the money.
Get from military families?
And build the wall.
So from the defense appropriations, and it was money that was going to build living facilities for military families?
What I did is I got a big military budget approved, and I took it out of the military.
Which part of that?
Because the way
Is it all the same? Did you take it out of fighter jets? What did you take it out of?
I look at it.
You didn't take it out of ships.
This is defense. I spent 2.5 years winning lawsuits. We won all of the lawsuits. There were 11. We won every one of them.
And apparently still only built wall where we already had fence.
I started building the wall. It's too...
How much did Congress release for Trump's border wall? He didn't. He appropriated it. Yeah.
2 months.
The final number I'm not 100% sure on, but just for the record, Trump, Mexico will pay for the wall. Just videos. Is it, you know, I mean, I think this part obviously should matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to Sean Hannity or the folks that are there. Doesn't matter.
From completion, and this guy stops it.
Yeah.
And that's tragic, and it's dangerous for Texas and Arizona and every other state. It's tragic.
All right.
Apparently not. So, by the way, that's the end of the show today, guys. I got to sign off. It's time for Family FaceTime for me. So, appreciate you guys joining me. I went a little longer today because I started a little later, and I appreciate you guys hanging around on this. Hold on, let me switch back over to this page. There we go. And I think audio, video-wise, it was pretty good today. Yeah? Did it fix most of the stuff? And thank you guys who joined me at Stuttering John's show as well. There will be excellent. Thanks, guys. I've been tinkering behind the scenes, and I'm glad that a good portion of it actually worked. Fingers crossed it will stay that way. There's a little bit of choppiness right now just as I'm messing with stuff, but I don't know. I think that's my computer, just me opening Twitch so that I can see if there's a channel to raid going forward. But I will see you guys at the regular time, 3 o'clock tomorrow, 3 p.m. Nope, it's all games. It's Elder Scrolls and Xbox and Riot Games, and you guys don't need to go there. So I will leave you for the evening. Have a great night. I will see you guys tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. I will be having a show on Saturday. And then I hope everybody has a wonderful 4th of July. We'll talk more then. Take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. And thank you guys for Shadow Woman and Nika Crinkles and Excited... where is it? Here we go. Excited Griffin for the subscriptions today. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks for all the new followers on Twitch as well. Don't forget, if you're not going to subscribe, at least follow on Twitch. That would be lovely. Help us out and take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.